Hey, it's your girl Amber Rose, and you're listening to Tales from the Swing with Jean and Scott.
Hi, welcome to Tales from the Swing. My name is Jean Holden.
And I'm Scott Holden.
Tales from the Swing.
Yeah!
Tales from the Swing.
The hosts of this program are not medical professionals or lawyers and cannot give medical or legal advice. The content of this program is intended for entertainment purposes only. Enjoy!
Tales from the Swing. 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 Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Tales from the Swing. This is the podcast where we talk open relationships, polyamory, non-traditional, non-monogamous relationships, and all those things in between. And with me today is...
I'm Scott Holden, your primary.
You are my primary.
As I was recently introduced.
You're my number one.
Yes.
So, hi. And here we are again.
Yeah, we're sorry it's been a little while.
Yeah.
This show was actually planned to go out in October, but one thing leads to another, and blah, 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 blah.
Right, and then it became Halloween.
Yes, and then all kinds of craziness.
Yeah.
So,
and all of those are excuses, of course.
But this podcast, this episode, what we're going to do is it's sort of a crossover, and it's a little late in coming.
Right.
But, I mean, depending on how you became aware of the show, it may be totally fresh to your ears.
Right.
What we're doing is we're playing a guest that we recorded for our other podcast called That Man on Fat Man, which is based around Kevin Smith. And it was recently after the New York City Comic-Con. We had met this fellow reporter, blogger, journalist, internet personality, whatever you want to call her. And, she
Lots
definitely
of fun. A
journalist,
person.
a blogger.
Yeah.
And, really cool person.
Yeah.
And as we interviewed her for that show, she opened up and talked about her wilder side, or now I got to remember the word that she used, because it's actually sort of shifted some of my thinking.
Isn't it?
Pansexual.
Pansexual,
That's right.
yeah.
She used pansexual.
Yeah.
And people who have listened to the show will know that I sort of have an issue. I wonder if a lot of that is just trying to soft pedal, or like bisexual denial,
Right.
or like a biphobia.
See, now I am like, I don't go anywhere with it.
Just wanting to soften the word.
Right.
You
I
know
just
what
don't
mean?
go
Like,
anywhere with it because I just feel like people just feel comfortable with a certain title or label, whatever you want to call it, and I just leave it there.
But as she pointed out, she talked about, the reason she defines, and you'll hear it in the interview,
Right.
but is more to do with a lot of, the trans and cross-dressing and those types of people out there who are also, she has attraction to.
Right.
So,
And sometimes it happens.
so then I could say I'm pansexual too.
But isn't that the same as bisexual, though?
To me, yes. But
Because those transgender are either man or woman. I mean, the way
they're trans. Well, if you listen to just the last episode of this show, we get it a lot, very deep into that, and
Right.
it really has to do with the person and how they feel, and all.
Right. So I mean, I think either way you go, it's going to be bisexual.
Yeah. Well, ultimately,
Yeah.
it's a flavor of bisexuality
Right.
to me.
I just think it's whatever the person feels the best and most confident, describing themselves. I think that's the way they should go, and I'm all for it as long as it's not hurting anybody.
Yes, indeed.
So that's how I feel about it.
I couldn't agree more.
Right. So Dani Rat is pansexual, and she's happy.
Yes, and so what we decided to do, like right on the spot, was like, this would be a great example of an episode that works on both shows.
Right.
So we can share, so people who listen to this show can hear a little bit about
Right.
what we do on the other show.
Right.
and people who do, and vice versa.
Yeah, right. This is not always going to happen. It was
No, this is just something we wanted to do because it was unique and it's
right.
neat and it's a good way to cross the shows over.
Right.
And we really enjoyed her as a guest.
Right, and it was a cool thing to just kind of start talking about in the middle of the the Comic-Con talk. We just started talking about.
Yeah. So
and then it came out and it was great.
Yeah.
Nice surprise.
So that will be the guest segment of today's show. So it's Tales from at Dani Rat.
Yep, at Dani Rat.
And but I mean, we can fill you in on tales from the date, if you will.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Where should we start?
With us and what's been going on with us? I don't know. You want to go back? How far? Let's see. What has happened since our last show was with Hemda and I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
With Hemda, yes, and Hennessy, which is an excellent show and awesome.
It's a great show.
We got a lot of good
right
notes about it, and we're happy about that. Let's see what I know. There's been at least a couple of dates we've
had a couple of dates. Yeah.
We went to a Halloween party.
Yeah, we did,
which was interesting.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah, well.
How deep do you want to get into that?
I have no problem talking about it because
you start and then I will interject.
Yeah, so
or add my because I have feelings.
So people who listen to this show know that we have various friends and various lifestyles, and one of our friends who is I guess you could say more of a drag queen. I guess I don't know
a cross-dresser. I think
cross-dresser. They're not true transgender. They're not, as far as I know, looking to change, but this is sort of the thing they're into.
Right. It's very yeah.
And so they invited us to a drag bar
for Halloween.
Yeah,
Halloween
for
party.
And so,
but is it always a drag bar though?
Well, they always do drag bar on Saturday nights.
Saturday night is the drag bar.
This was this was the Halloween
extravaganza.
Jammy jam. Yeah,
jam.
So we were invited, and we decided to go, and I figured I will go and drag.
Right.
And, and because I'm also a comedian of sorts, my drag had a weird social message to it, ultimately. But, yeah, it was very surreal.
It really was.
That's what, I mean, it was, because, I don't know, it's not like, we were going to have fun, right?
Oh my God!
And so it struck me very quickly.
Don't worry, I won't be speechless for long.
Yeah. Guys. So essentially, I wore like an outfit.
Yeah, a long blonde wig on.
Yeah, and then I was wearing like a priest garb,
right,
and horns,
right.
And so it was essentially
and your makeup
and a big crucifix,
and your makeup. You had makeup and lipstick and all that.
Yes. Anyway, so from my perspective. It was weird. It seemed like I'd never experienced what I would call cat glances or
side glances,
bitch faces. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like that kind of thing.
Okay, so
and first of all, I don't.
Well, see, I couldn't see this because wherever you were, you were, I didn't see because you're taller than me too, so I didn't see the looks. I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No. I didn't see. Yeah.
So I mean, it was just my own paranoia.
No. If you saw it, you saw it. I'm not saying anything, but there's definitely, and I'm not saying I didn't see anything because there were a couple of things that I did see, looks towards our way. Now, this is a place. Now, there's some
could it be that also? Because I was with you.
Well, you know what?
And, here I am with my wife, so.
That could be part of it.
Maybe that's one of those things where
that doesn't always...
here's this tourist on Halloween.
Right.
You know
and that's not always.
And maybe that's why I got fucking, bitch stares or whatever.
I don't know. They were just jealous. But anyway. Now, see, but I've got so much to say, I don't know where to begin. The overall feeling of the place was very judgy. Now, I don't know what kind of, feeling was brought out in some of these people, but come on. Like if you want to be like for the night, or if you
I mean,
hoping to, like for the future to be like a female.
I felt like other than
you've got some
other than the few friends that we, the two friends that we
Right.
do. I mean, really, I didn't feel any like vibe of welcome to the show.
No,
welcome
and that's
to
what
the
I mean.
club,"
Like I
or
always
anything like that. I felt very
like
wow, this is really weird.
I'm going to use the word preach, but I don't really like that word. But like, on this show, I frequently say, we like speak up for the people that are quiet and are afraid. So if if you were somebody that didn't have confidence, that would have like wrecked you. And what if you drank? You know what I mean? If someone drank, that could send them into some binge. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's what they're hoping.
That sort of, treating people like that.
Well, whatever. Like, long story
is
short,
very catty and very cunty. Okay, and nobody wants to be a cunt, whether you're male or female. So cut it out.
Yeah, we hung out with our friends
for as long as we,
bit, and then we
just left.
We blew the scene.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like all places are like that. It just seemed this place it was very judgy. And
but again, here's what I will give. I will give the place a pass in that. Again, we could have just been considered tourists because you're a female, I'm a male.
Yeah, but didn't say like females weren't allowed.
No, but what I'm saying is and it's Halloween, so it's obvious that we're not like. I guess
we're not regulars.
Maybe they don't see us as lifestylers, or I'm not a drag queen full time, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Cut it out. That shit can't. Like even in in like a regular bar.
Yes.
That shit wouldn't fly. You don't treat people like that.
Yeah.
Just include people. Don't be exclusive. Be inclusive. It's a lot better. And it pays off in the end. Because then, that person tells someone else about the club, and then you never know who you'll meet the next time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So be open to meeting new people. Don't shun people, because it's not, and there's alcohol involved. I get it. So maybe, some of it is being a little sensitive. But,
and
it's
some of
just,
it could be, again, like here's these tourists. Oh, here's.
I know, but it doesn't make it okay, though.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it okay, like giving it like a reason. It just doesn't. Because you wouldn't treat someone like that in a regular place. You just wouldn't.
And meanwhile, we still bumped into someone from the lifestyle there.
I know.
So you never know. And that shocked one of the persons we were with. So
I know.
It's a very, very interesting world.
It was
very small. I guess it's a small world after all.
It was interesting, but.
Yeah. Then, let's see, what else? We had a very recent date with a couple that we really like.
Oh, they're really nice. Yes. Yeah.
Shout out to, well, I won't say their names.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten that close yet.
No. Well, I know their name, but we're not going to say it.
Yeah, we're not going to. But it was interesting because here's another thing where you go for it anyway, because we had sort of a date set up with this couple, and then the day of,
Aunt Flo decided to visit.
Yeah, notified us that Aunt Flo came into town early.
Yeah.
Bitch. And it was like, do you guys want to, we understand, we'll, reschedule or whatever. And to which I was like, why? I mean, we can at least meet and say hello. And,
it was fun. It was worth it.
Yeah,
they like Rick and Morty.
They like Rick and Morty. Exactly.
Yeah, I know. It was like the number one thing.
Do we have to go any further?
I know.
And yeah,
that was the number one thing. Like, yes, Rick and Morty. Someone to laugh with Rick and Morty.
Yeah, so
because it's fun watching Rick and Morty alone or with you.
Yeah,
but it's fun like hearing other people laugh at Rick and Morty together, all in a group.
Yeah,
it's
and
great.
he seems not too far removed from this kind of business, and she's a photographer. So.
Yeah. There
you go.
So it's nice.
Yeah,
yeah. I look forward to that.
Yeah, we can't wait to a non-period date.
Yeah. Or no, just the next one. The next time.
The next date will be fun.
Yeah.
And because we know we already like each other.
Right.
So we're already ahead of the game.
You never know.
Yeah. Maybe we can get them on the podcast.
I don't know. It seems like they wouldn't mind.
No, they got very.
They liked it.
Yeah,
I think they listened to podcasts too.
Yes,
they were very
much
savvy.
They did.
They were podcast
Cereal.
savvy.
There was a cereal person. Cereal was
yeah, I think she's like into that.
Yeah, she's into the murder thing,
which is interesting.
and the serial killer thing. It
there was a
recent Keith.
There was a recent one too. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he almost. I don't want to say he took over the cereal thing, but his is very similar to cereal.
But there's also like I bet you she's into Lore too, which is a new show on Amazon.
Yeah,
which is out of a podcast.
Very cool.
Yes.
Wow.
It's like history of monster stuff and. like where the reality meets the fiction.
Did you watch that yet?
I watched the first episode. I liked it.
It was good?
Yeah. It's dark, and I like the way they use animation, and it's cool. I like it. It's very much a documentary series.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We like those.
Yes. So yeah, we had a great date recently, and so plunge forth with plans, even if you don't always have to get laid.
Right. And it's worth it, because then you just know the next time is going to be, you kind of got a lot of stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, not like that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you don't have to, talk about everything like right away.
Another cool thing that has happened recently, Midnight Smoke, who you may know from their Twitter feed because he likes the show and retweets a lot. He is a friend and a podcaster, and he was on his way from Philly to Buffalo, but he went out of his way to stop by our place.
I know.
Which, 2 hour out of the way. And
which is a lot.
Yeah. But it was great seeing him here, and while talking, he sort of opened up about, that he loves this show as well, because he identifies as polyamorous.
Yes.
And so we're like, shit, well, now we got to get you on that show too. So
oh my God, I can't wait.
Yeah, so in the future,
See?
probably sometime later this month, we'll have another show with Midnight Smoke.
I'm so happy. He's such a happy guy. See what happens when you live your true.
And we kind of have a
true self.
Well, he's famous, but we don't know that we necessarily are going to get him on the show, but we're really trying to get someone on the show who we recently found out was at one time in the lifestyle. And we would love to get this person on and fucking drill their head for what their experiences were like. Plus, this person also dated a porn star that I know was like in my collection. And I know that two people at this table have masturbated to.
Was it Gingerlyn or Amberlyn?
It was Ginger.
It was Ginger, not Amber.
It was Ginger, yeah.
Yeah.
The cuter one.
I don't know.
Yeah. Ginger,
Her other
Ginger
sister
was
had
much,
more of like
Ginger
a horse.
was much more girl next door.
Yeah, I don't mean like the. I'm just like she had
a
more of
longer
like
face.
a horse face.
A longer face.
But she was still cute.
Let's say horse face. That's
Well, I didn't mean it like that, but
like
more horse features.
Uh,
Why are you?
Because I'm thinking of what's her name from Sex and the City.
Yeah, but I didn't talk about her. You're the one who said her.
As soon as you say horse face,
Will you
Sarah
stop?
Jessica Parker comes right to
She's
mind.
not like a foot. You mean? Like Family Guy.
That's terrible.
I'm just
But
repeating
now
other people's jokes.
You're zeroing in closer to the potential guest.
I do like her, though.
riff, but
I do
okay.
like her.
So we'll let you figure that out.
Wow,
I'm sure
who
someone will
could
figure
it
that
be?
out there. I know Midnight Smoke will figure it out.
Oh my God, Ralph Garman.
Okay. Well, we're trying.
Okay.
No promises.
I know him as RG. Thank you very much.
Yes, okay. Well, yes. I wonder what Payne knows him at. RFG or something.
RFG.
Yes. Ralph
fucking Garman. Oh my God. Oh boy.
The next Bane song. Wow, that's the wrong show. See, too much overlap.
The wheels
now.
are turning.
There's too much overlap. So do we want to
See, but Bane wants to get on this show too because he's a pervert.
So we should do the letter after the show, right? After the guest segment. Gives us something to do after the guest segment,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
We're sort of changing up the format. We want to keep this show loose, fun, and happy so that it's not a chore. So if some of the formatting is looser now, you're still getting great content.
Right.
Anyway, so I guess without any further ado, we will turn the mic over to Miss Dani Rat, and that's at Dani Rat, DaniRat.
Mm-hmm.
And we will talk about how she's not a rat, but how she's into rats. And it's interesting, too, because we were talking about that on That Man on Fat Man. This show is already, this segment that you're about to hear is already dropped on That Man on Fat Man
right.
a few weeks back. And not long after that, Mark Bernardin from Fat Man on Batman was asked the question if he could reboot a property or something like that, what he would do. And he went with Secret of Nim. Now, during this interview, I specifically call out to her that I know that, I say something, yeah, I like rats too, because I was a big fan, because as a kid, I read the book Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim, which is what Secret of Nim is based on. So it's just so weird. Cool. It's like another one of those synchronicity moments.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well,
So
the fucking guy from...
Without further ado, we have Miss Dani Rat.
Dani Rat.
It's time for Getting Personal on Tales from the Swing.
All right, we're bringing someone in. It was really kind of a cool little experience. We were at New York City Comic Con, and we were downstairs waiting on the AMC, Kevin's big set, but apparently there was a different press gig going on downstairs. It's pretty cool because I went down there and there was that guy I said who was from Scrubs.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. I just blew
I never
past
watched
him
that, but I think I knew.
I just kind of waved by him and
did he nod his head or something? Or
something like
did
that.
He acknowledge it?
I mean, yes, he acknowledged that I waved to him or whatever. But in the midst of before all that happened, we're down there talking to other people who were writing for different outlets, and we got to talking with a girl named Danielle. She's an independent.
I didn't know her name then.
Yes, she's an independent writer, and she also has her own podcast. But we got a good conversation going, and we enjoyed it so much. And then we saw her later in the week, perform.
We did. She got to dance on stage.
Yeah,
it was adorable.
With like a whole goofy. Because
we'll
talk more about
the Dynamite song.
Yeah,
but you know what? People that do that are amaze me because that takes a lot of guts to do that in front of all those people.
So let me bring up her mic so she can be included in the conversation. Let's welcome Danielle to the conversation. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Good. So
We're good.
You're down there in Atlanta, which you had to return from after 4 days of insanity.
I did. I returned from 4 days of insanity in New York City to.
Isn't it the best?
It's great. I actually live an hour outside of Atlanta. I'm out in the country, so.
Oh, okay.
It was definitely a change of pace.
Well, that's like us. We're in the suburbs of New Jersey.
I love New York City, though. It's the best.
It's nice having, an urban center within an hour's drive. So
yeah, it is.
That's probably what your situation is like.
Oh, absolutely. I love it. I'm an hour from major civilization, but I get to be out in the country where it's nice and quiet. It's great.
We recently talked to Sean Gunn, who has just acquired a place down there.
Yeah, he's down there too.
Yeah, I'm always hoping that I'll bump into him at some day, but we'll see.
You're
He's
in good
awesome.
company down there.
Definitely.
If he's down there, that probably means that Rooker's probably kicking around.
Oh my God,
down there,
Rooker,
too.
yes. And Yandu
Because
will look over you and you'll be all right, girl. You will be all right.
Did you see Rooker on your Comic-Con experience this weekend?
I did not get to see Rooker. My buddy actually covered all the Rooker stuff. So,
awesome.
But he was texting me through, sending me pictures of Rooker, and I was sending him pictures of the cast of the X-Files, and we just kind of shared back and forth. I love Rooker. He's incredible. I met him once, and it was the best. He gave me a big bear hug.
Isn't he the best?
He's the best.
I know. He really is. He's so funny.
We had the honor of having him on.
Yeah, he was
like
the
about
show,
a year ago.
Yeah, if you can listen,
maybe even more now. It might be more.
If you have time to listen to it, it's really good because he's so naturally funny and just really kind. He's just a cool guy. So
yeah, I'll definitely check that out. He's great.
Yeah,
we're trying to get him back, but it's a much harder hill to climb this time.
No,
and
he's Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah, now that he's Mary Poppins, y'all, he's a tougher hill. But we do think that it was a successful interview with him that did get us our Sean Gunn interview because they're managed by the same people.
Yeah, and I didn't know how close they were, and I guess I probably should have.
They either Michael Rooker didn't say anything bad about the interview, or he said something good about the interview. So either way, it worked out.
Either way, it's a win.
Yeah.
Either way, it's great.
Yeah. And they're friends. How cool is that? Sean Gunn and Rooker.
They're always Rookers. Yeah, are good friends. Well, because they go back to Slither.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And they're all in the cons always together too. So they're always hanging out and everything. So.
Yeah. Good to do the cons. The cons are like their own business now.
They are. It's gotten huge.
I wonder how long before before everyone catches on that people are charging us to go shopping. I wonder how long.
Wrong.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I don't know. Eventually, the con bubble has got to burst.
I don't know. It hasn't yet. It's just gotten like really,
Insane.
really big.
What'd you think of Saturday?
Saturday was great.
How long did it take you to get around?
Saturday wasn't too bad. I actually found that Sunday was more crowded than Saturday to me.
Really?
Yeah, Sunday was nuts. I was trying to get around on Sunday, and I had places to be, and it was just impossible to even get across the floor. Like, if you're trying to get across the show floor, it was going to take you a half hour to get from one side to the other, no matter what.
Oh, my God.
It's so funny. We sat out Saturday because, I've been through that experience. And we set out on Sunday, but just because of weather and just we didn't – our car was acting up that morning because maybe it was because of weather. I don't know.
Yeah.
And just we were all dressed up and
Yeah,
something
we were all
happened
done.
along the way and we're like, you know what? I don't feel safe about going in today.
'Cause the car
and
was
then,
weird.
Yeah, and then you looked at the thing and you're like, the con's over at 5 today.
It was done at 5, wasn't
And
it?
I'm like, it's almost 1. So
Oh, yeah.
what's the point?
By the time we got there, really, and they got walked over and everything, it probably would have been like
parked,
3:30.
blah, blah, blah.
Like, okay, so we're here an hour and a half.
Yeah. And let's face it, you can't really move.
No.
No.
So we're glad we made to us, Thursday and Fridays are the best days to go.
Yeah, to us that was great.
I would
Worked
agree,
out,
yeah.
It worked out really good.
Yeah, Thursday and Friday were both great. They weren't super crazy crowded.
No, they
and-
weren't. And
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, because it's a work week for people, it's hard for them to get out. But that's benefits. Sorry, guys, if you have to work, it benefits us a whole lot.
So you came up from Atlanta. Like, was this all planned, or how did you figure out how you wanted to do NYC Comic-Con this year?
So I actually did it through the fan contributor program with fandom.com, and what they do is you write for them, and it's sort of like an internship, apprenticeship kind of thing. And if you do enough content for them and really show that you have the capabilities to handle more responsibility, they'll send you to these cons. And so I found out in late September, or not late September, but like mid-September, they were like, hey, we would like to send you to New York again, because they sent me last year.
Wow.
And I was
That's
like,
so cool.
all right, you gave me enough time to let my real job know, and I'll see you there.
Does that mean like airfare and hotel fare, or like,
Everything's covered.
Wow, that's awesome.
Good for you, girlfriend.
Yeah, it was great. Everything was 100% covered, except for just, like swag and stuff, obviously, I had to pay for. But
Oh my
airfare,
gosh.
hotel, press pass, everything was taken care of.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's the way to go. I mean,
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
worked for
it's funny because
she worked for that shit though.
We've been doing this show now for season 4 we're on. So that's 3 years technically. But this is the 3rd year that we've written in for passes, and the first year that they've deemed us worthy, I guess.
Yay.
Yeah, so it was our first year doing media instead of, just doing it out of our dime and,
Yeah.
It was
the whole-
cool.
But we're local,
very
so
fortunate.
it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get media passes, and
It
it's funny,
is.
especially San Diego is even worse, but
Yeah,
they're
that's-
Oh my
both
God,
they're both
so-
super difficult to get press passes. So when you're able to go through a program like this and let them use their clout to get you in, it's like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll take it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's I told Gene, I said, wow, we must have done something right. And now that we're on this side, let's make sure
I don't know what we did.
we don't lose it.
Well, I know what we did. We worked for it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Yeah, you work
we
hard
busted our
for you bust your ass. Seriously. The reward is there.
I
At
call
the
it
end.
I call it the video game theory. That's the way I've always seen the show. Like, we started out small, and you get certain guests, and it's like down in bosses, it kind of, in its own level, So,
It is.
once you take down like a major level boss, getting other guests becomes easy. So,
Yeah.
it's
Definitely.
it's a one day at a time thing, but eventually, you get your Michael Rookers, you get your Kevin Smiths, you get your bigger guests, and then it becomes easier to get smaller guests, or like we say, there's certain guests that we
Yeah, but
consider
small
A-list.
is like-
Anyone in Kevin Smith's universe to us is an A-list guest.
Yeah,
right
small
off the bat.
is like small is relative too, because to
Yeah.
us they could be huge.
Yeah,
Small is
and we are total fangirls of the Kevin Smith thing, so that's how we got involved.
right.
Are you a fan?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my god, I could totally tell.
Favorite film?
Dogma.
Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
that's a good one.
That's interesting because it came out recently that Dogma is on, unavailable.
Yeah.
And Kevin even spoke the name Harvey Weinstein in
At the
that very
panel.
day because it's Harvey and Bob that own Dogma.
Oh my God, and Harvey Weinstein.
That whole thing is so disgusting.
Isn't that
it?
amazing?
And he didn't bring. And you know what?
Whacked out.
Kevin knew when he was up there about that because it had already come out.
Oh yeah, I know because Kevin
he
Kevin is very
couldn't.
media savvy, and that's why he said Harvey's name.
Oh.
And when you heard it, it was kind of he
like-
said it with a definite.
Because he's ashamed, like a
Yeah, a definite Harvey Weinstein,
Like
that name
that
right now is a
guy.
pejorative. Yeah.
Ooh, my God. And Kevin's ashamed just because he's had anything to do with the guy.
Well,
I mean,
in
that's just
Kevin's
the way
defense,
Kevin is.
In Kevin's defense, he had a falling out with him back when he put out what was it? The
Red State.
Red State. Thank you. So I don't know that he's necessarily one of those celebrities that people are gunning for.
No, but if
now. And it's
No.
kind of like it seems like all of a sudden Ben Affleck is.
Oh my God, Ben Affleck
whoa.
grabbed somebody or was
Yeah, they're saying
aggressive. What the fuck?
Well, they're saying that
This
under
is not okay.
Weinstein's tutelage or
Yeah.
whatever you want
This
to
is
say.
okay, guys. This is not okay. Doing this sort of thing is not okay. So keep
Hey, we
your
have two
hands
women to talk
yourself.
about this.
Keep your hands to yourself. They're it just it blows my mind just because the little bit of power. Yeah, you're kind of cute, but you know what? You can't do that.
Well,
Harvey
I'm
I'm
Weinstein.
talking about Ben Affleck. I'm not talking about Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, well, I mean, and it's been crazy because in the entertainment journalism community, we had two back-to-back falling out, with the Alamo Drafthouse. We had the Devin Faraci thing where somebody who was accused of sexually assaulting somebody was hired back under the table secretly. We had
Wait, wasn't there someone? What's his name? The guy from
Harry Knowles.
Ain't it cool? Yeah, I saw
Yes.
something about him.
That came out a week after, and then
That was scary.
And then the
It
Weinstein dropped. It was bang, bang, bang. And
Yeah.
I'm just oh, finally
know.
people are going to pay attention that this industry is run by really disgusting men.
Now, wait a
Right.
minute. Now, Harry Knowles, what can you use? What could he use on someone? I'm going to write a bad review of you? I mean...
He used his power. He was using it to keep other reporters under his thumb. He was keeping female journalists. He would promise them that they could write for his site and things
Ugh.
like that.
He's a
Yeah.
foul beast. Look at the
Oh,
guy.
he's
But
gross.
this is what I mean. They're gross. That's why they have to go to these lengths because
Yes.
no one wants to touch them.
Yes.
They have to go to these lengths to get attention, and because they're disgusting. When
they're
you have
not-
to go
not
that
good.
far, when you have to go that far to reach that far, come on, you're
Well,
pathetic.
It's
I've
the whole
always thought
straight white
Knowles-
male thing.
Knowles is like a ginger Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
Yes, he really
Through
is.
it all.
It really
Yeah,
is.
that sounds so sexy to me.
You know what's
right?
funny? Who played him
No.
in a movie? What's his name?
Yeah, Sailboat
Yeah. Yeah, what's his name?
I don't know who you're talking about.
from
big-
Mallrats. It's a fucking sailboat.
Oh,
Yeah, the big guy.
Jesus.
Who's also was in? He was his brother. He was Brandon, not Brandon.
Yeah, on My Name Is Earl. He played
Yes.
the brother on My Name Is Earl, and he was in the movie Fanboys. He
Yes,
played
yes, he played Harry Knowles, and it's so funny too because I had to double take. I'm like, is that really Harry Knowles?
He's much better.
Well, he's
looking
William
than Harry
Black in
Knowles.
the movie, right? Is he William
Yes,
Black?
he's one of the William Blacks. He's the other Scott. He's Scott Mosier's
See,
the other
I
Willem
know
Black.
my shit. I know my Kevin.
And it's Willem Black. It should be.
Ooh, Willem. Sorry.
It should be
Willem.
Willem. It should be Willem Black.
It probably does say Willem, but I
Which is
said it wrong.
actually the name of David Klein and Scott Mosier's film that was their graduation project to get out of their film school.
Was
or
it
to
really?
graduate from their film
And what was
school.
it called?
That name.
Willem Black.
Willem Black. And then Willem Black became that character that Scott Mosier played where he banged into the wall in Clerks.
And that's
You know-
Tell Him Steve Dave, right?
That is
Or
Tell 'em
that-
Steve Dave.
No,
Yeah.
Tell him Steve Dave is not actually in Clerks. That's Scott Mosier. And then Scott Mosier, for whatever, so he plays that character, but then that character morphs in Mallrats into the big guy that we're talking about.
I know. Why can't I?
Whose name we can't come up with.
It's so terrible because
Between the three of us and the internet, but I'm
have 'em
standing
right
up
here.
because I'm trying to Jedi mind trick the donuts to me from across the room.
Yeah, instead of just asking me, Ethan Suppley.
That's it, Ethan Suplee.
Supply. Is that how you say it?
I don't know.
Supply.
I've heard it both ways.
Are you trying to
just like me?
sound
I've
more
heard it both
distinguished
ways.
than me?
And
Supply.
you.
Souffle.
Souffle.
Will you please pass the donuts?
Oh my god. Where
I'm
are
going
they
to do one
going?
of the many things you can't do on air.
Oh my god, you did it last time too.
I know, but those
Danielle,
were
he was
delicious
eating French fries the whole time.
Yeah, you're not
Wouldn't that bother you?
on audio.
I mean, there's worse things.
Yeah, but the way he was doing it.
How do my shorts fall
But
down?
that's
like-
fair. I got pretty drunk during my show's Game of Thrones episode, so I was drinking wine during the whole the whole thing. Like I was like Rick from Rick and Morty levels of drunk.
Oh
like
my
I was
God, yes.
I was disgusting. I had to go back and edit out all of my burps and belches and stumbling things.
No, you didn't. You could have kept it.
So what was the best meal you got to charge to this service?
I would say I had eggs and French fries at like 11 o'clock at night one night at this little diner with a friend, and we sat there and talked about Quentin Tarantino for 2 hours. So the conversation was better than the food, but that would probably be it.
Can I ask if it was the TikTok diner? Because that
It
right.
was.
Yeah, of course.
I love
TikTok
the
diner
TikTok
right
diner.
across.
I'm so glad it was right
We
there.
ate there while we were there too.
I'm sure
Yeah, it
everybody
was
did.
great. That was it was in my hotel. We were staying in the New Yorker, so
Oh,
There you go. There you go.
good for you. Gosh. Right
Did
on.
they like pile you in with other reporters? Did you have to share rooms, or how did that work?
No, I'm sure she was by herself.
I looked out. I was by myself. A lot of the other
Was that
folks
by choice
were,
or by?
It was by sheer luck. It was they got a certain number of rooms, picked us split us up according to gender and that kind of thing, and tried to match us with people that we'd be comfortable with. And I just happened to be the odd numbered person, so I got my own room, which I was not upset about.
I was gonna say.
Are you married? Are you single? Sorry, I'm eating a donut now.
Oh, I'm engaged.
Ah.
Oh, congratulations.
How long? How long have you been engaged?
We've been engaged since April, and we've been together. We'll actually be getting married a week before our 10-year anniversary.
So you have a date set.
Yes, we're getting married in March.
Then you are really engaged.
It's real. It's happening.
Oh
we
my
have
God,
a
it's real. I'm so happy for you.
We don't count those people engaged who are just perpetually, I have a
Yeah.
ring, no date.
Well, we can
There's
count
no
them.
hurry.
Why does it bother us?
Well, yeah.
good for them.
Not you. I speak for me.
Yes,
It
I'm not
bothers
bothered
me.
by that.
You're
People, you
fake.
know-
Do it. Pull the trigger. Set a date.
yeah, because
Hire a band.
no,
Commit.
it's no one else's life but theirs.
Misery loves company.
Exactly.
No, I'm kidding.
No one else's life but theirs. Because they might change their mind and say, you know what, we don't have to get married. Why don't we just live together?
And bring a couple other people into our relationship, just like the guy who made Wonder Woman,
Yes, you could
There
do
you
that
go.
too.
Make it interesting.
Samuel Marston.
Yes,
I've got to see
and
that
that comes
movie.
out Friday, by the way.
I'm
Looks
so
amazing.
excited.
Doesn't
looks
it look
great.
amazing?
It looks so good.
I've
I'm
known that
fast-
story
I'm
for a very long
fascinated.
time.
I'm like, it's the best story ever. It's perfect. I can't wait to see it.
I wonder if they were Rennies.
I don't know.
Because, Rennies, that is a gateway to the BDSM community.
I don't know.
I could
I'm
see
convinced
that.
of that.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
one
don't-
of the gateways. I wouldn't say it's the only gateway, but it's one of them.
Well, yeah. Since that book got published, it's everywhere. So
Oh, the
Are we talking about the disgusting
50
Twilight fan fiction that
the
is
50 Shades of Grey. Yeah,
okay, it's funny you said that. No, but
the 50 Shades of Grey.
here's
50 Shades of Grey was Twilight fan
It
fiction.
really was.
okay. I didn't realize that, but
Oh,
I,
that's how it started.
I
She just changed the
actually
names.
I read that first piece of shit Twilight book.
It's bad too, but it's not as bad as 50 Shades
Oh,
of Grey.
I
Nothing
disagree.
is as bad as 50 Shades of
You
Grey.
could tell that was written by a teenage girl.
It was not. That's the sad part.
Wait, you're telling
Twilight
me
was.
Twilight wasn't written by a teenage girl?
She's in her 20s, early
Okay,
30s.
well that was obvious. It was written by an immature person,
That I will give you.
and a sexually immature person.
That I will
Right.
super give you.
Because
Absolutely.
when long looks and touches
Well,
mean
so
that
is
much
50
to
Shades
you,
of Grey.
it's like
50
fucking
Shades of Grey is even worse, though, because she talks about her inner goddess and all this stuff that I'm like, nobody talks to themselves like that unless they're narcissists.
It's true. Who says that?
I've never read the book, so I can't
Yeah.
comment.
Oh,
other
don't.
than,
You'll get
I
mad.
read the first one, and after that, no.
I mean, I love the fact that they run. They
I did not read all
they
of them.
invented a term called mommy porn just for that book.
But if you're gonna read, if you're gonna read BDSM stories or something though, like I think you should at least be reading something that's well written and not harmful, because I feel like that is not a BDSM relationship. That is an abusive.
That's very abusive. You're absolutely right.
Oh, you're talking about the one in the.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've heard that from a lot of BDSM.
Christian Grey, absolutely.
We actually host a different show that has a lot of like open relationships and BDSM stuff and
swingers.
Tales from the Swing.
Yeah, Tales from the Swing.
Yeah.
So like this is not off the beaten trail for us, but
but you're absolutely right. It is abusive relationship.
Yeah.
It's super gross, and I'm like, don't normalize that.
Right, and that's the thing. You can't normalize that because then, you
can't normalize.
Yeah, but it's already being normalized. Look at our president.
Yeah.
Okay, enough. No more. I'm not saying it.
And Harvey Weinstein.
But that's what I mean. He's
come back to my hotel room for a minute.
He's still
you
the president.
touch my boob. I do that. Or whatever. What did he say? It
when
was like
that came
the response
out,
was so odd.
I'm used to that. When that came out, that coming out was not enough for people to not vote. Because that came out before the election.
Yeah.
I know. And that's why when women that I know who voted for him, I was like, how can you be doing this?
What are you doing? You're not standing up for us.
I do not
believe. It's not about you only.
Don't believe any of those stats. Don't believe the vote. Don't believe any of that bullshit. The Russians hacked that shit right at the end.
No, I mean women that I know personally who told me they voted for him.
I know people too. Danielle, I know women that voted for him.
Bots.
Even after. And they still, I'm telling you this now.
Twitter.
With everything that's going on, they still will not admit that they were wrong. They won't.
Nope.
No, even after all the shit that's going on now.
They're all married white women, right?
Mostly.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the thing.
I don't know a minority woman that would have voted for that.
No.
Oh, God, no.
White women in this country need to wake up.
They really do.
Danielle,
they don't realize that they're being subjugated like chattel.
Absolutely.
You guys are just becoming concubines of your white husbands.
It's true. It's Stepford Wives.
Really is Stepford Wives.
That's like when Get Out came out in January. I was like, guys, this isn't just about race. He's talking about so much more than that.
Was today come out Get Out Day, or was it yesterday?
Today is coming out.
Coming out.
No,
Get Out. Right. She's talking about the movie.
But it's weird because it's also a Woman's Day of some kind too.
It's International Day of the Girl.
Day of the Girl.
Yeah, it's and Coming Out Day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's double my day.
So all you girls, come
great.
out, you bisexual
Me too.
and lesbian girls.
Yay!
I'm here and I'm queer. Woo!
Yeah.
Me too. Hey.
Hey, me too. Yay!
But we already came out on our show, so it's like it shouldn't be a shock
but
to anyone
coming out
there.
again feels so good.
And it always feels good. It's
know.
it's like being true to yourself, but publicly you're just like, yeah, what about it?
Yeah, and how is that going to hurt me?
And we did, I forget whose article it was, but like you really are coming out your whole life because you're going to meet people and then
it's really true. You don't,
especially on the male side, because guys people don't expect it of males most of the time.
Yeah, I feel like being queer and female, that's one of the few spaces where people give us a less of a hard time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. That's like such the understatement. I mean, I didn't mean to do.
That's one of the issues that this show has sort of adopted along the way.
It's oh, my God.
Because, more bi men have to come out. So it becomes more normal. Because the truth is, the behavior is exactly the same.
Right.
Be it male or female. If you look at the patterns of dating or whatever you want to call it, the sexual behavior or whatever you want to call it, it's the same as bi men and bi female.
Bi
male and bi female.
The appeal has always been women together.
And the stigma is that bi men are gay on installment, which is bullshit.
Right, which means
super bullshit.
Yeah, but it's
and there shouldn't be any difference.
And this is actually our next documentary.
We're doing the B-Doc.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. This is very cool.
So,
but it's funny because we fell in with Bob Hawke, and if you know anything about Clerks, he's kind of Kevin's angel, and we had him on the show.
You might like his documentary, Film Hawk, it's called.
We'll be the first ones to admit it. All the good stuff that has come in our life in the last few years have come out of the show, and therefore have come out of Kevin. And
Bob Hawke is amazing.
Full props to him. But Bob came on our show because he was like, you guys do a show just about Kevin. If, that's why I'm coming on, because I can appreciate that. And he also knew a little bit about that I had started the show because I was in a rough place and yada. You know, he kind of knew the story of the show. But anyway, one of the cool things about doing it is you have him over we took him out for dinner, and it was really weird. Like, we had fell into this documentary film space, and Bob was on board, and he was very much wanting to tell the story about, you know, bisexuality and how it's the forgotten part of that.
Oh my God, he was so like
thing.
Intense about it too. He's like, no one's done it before. This has got to be your thing.
And we were
it's
definitely
like getting so into
we
it.
wanted to do it, but at the same time we were still a little nervous about that one. But the podcasting doc was like, yes, we can do this now.
Yes.
And so as it worked out, that's what we did.
So,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So
But
the
anyway,
next
so
one will be. I don't know when
that's
that'll
being
be.
edited. I don't know how I got here, but I guess all the sexuality talk. That's being edited, so we're kind of starting in pre-production on the next doc, which we announced like a week or two ago accidentally because of someone we had on the show.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Stacy. That's right. Yeah.
I just dropped half a donut. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Oh no. Rest in peace.
He's got others. He's getting it. Are you going to eat it?
I am. I don't care. It's worth it.
God only knows what's under there.
I drop my donut in a pile of shit and eat it. All right, we want to take a moment to talk about Death Wish Coffee. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, do yourself a favor and get over to deathwishcoffee.com. And there you can buy the strongest coffee known to man without a prescription.
The world's strongest coffee ever.
Yes, as proudly displayed on my wife's sweatshirt over there.
Yes, on my body,
Yes.
on my mug,
Yes,
on
it's
my
K-mug.
K-cups. Not,
Yes, and you'll know them by their telling sign of the skull and crossbones that
It's
tells
so
you
good.
exactly what you're in for. It's that used to be the international symbol for poison, but now it is the symbol for good damn coffee.
It's awesome. Without milk, with milk, you don't really need it because it's strong.
But
It's
not bitter?
Not bitter. So you don't even need milk. You don't even need sugar, but you can add it if you'd like. It's just really, really the perfect, strongest, most awesome coffee.
Become a junkie of Death Wish, just like the Anderson Council. And
Oh, we got him hooked.
again, deathwishcoffee.com. Thank you very much.
Enjoy it. So I want to hear more about Danielle now.
Yes,
Let's
please.
hear more about
Especially
Danielle.
since you just admitted your queer on our show, which is, we love you more now.
Now, are you bi? Are you lesbian? What's your
I
deal?
am pan.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
I'm attracted to people, and gender is only really the secondary part of it.
Gotcha.
But I'm in a monogamous relationship with a man. We're not really open to sharing because we're both just too jealous. So we accept that. But
Gotcha.
But I'm attracted to all kinds of people. And I used to identify more as bi, and then I started being attracted to people who didn't really fit the binary. And I was like, okay, I guess I got to just go full queer with it.
Yeah.
We don't really care like what was it Rose by any other name?
Yeah.
I guess as Shakespeare
Yeah.
would say. But yeah, we identify as bi just because I think there's a fear of that. So
Right.
that's sort of, to us, you can really break it all down to you're gay, straight, or bi, but that's just us. I get the pan label. I've seen a lot of that.
Right.
I totally get that.
But I also wonder if it's a soft way of, saying bi, you know what I mean? Like if there's a little bi shame in the pan label.
I don't.
Just me?
For me personally, no. For me, it's more about the fact that I am attracted to people that do not fit within the binary. So you can't say that you're bi and you're attracted to trans men, trans women, gender queer people.
But I am too. I mean,
Like-
I'm attracted to trans men,
So
trans
then
women.
you're probably
trans,
pan then too.
But I don't identify that way. I'm attracted to men too. I'm attracted to women too. So, I understand. I see some of the trans play. Well, it depends. Trans is technically you are transitioning, so that's
Right.
you're transgender.
Right.
So that's more how they identify, and we got into that on our last show. It
Oh my
got
God,
very
last show was so
complicated.
good. Well,
and really, what it comes
it wasn't really
to
complicated.
me,
That's
well,
the
it
thing.
sort of is in that it's like, to me, I kind of see it as quantum, in that a lot of quantum depends upon the observer. So
Right.
in sexual identity, a lot of that depends on the individual.
Right.
Because there are those who will do trans. Oh God, we're gotten way off of Comic-Con.
I
This
know,
is
right?
fascinating.
I never knew this was going to happen.
There are those who will do trans as a fetish. I mean, it's not trans. It's, you could call it cross-dressing. You call it drag queen.
Only
you could call
for
it,
sexual.
Yeah, and to
sexual
them, yeah,
preference or
Right.
pleasure.
yeah,
Like one of somebody I really look up to is a drag queen that goes by well, it is his name, Willem, but he identifies as male, but dresses in drag for sex reasons and for
it's
you know,
a turn
entertainment
on.
reasons.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
entertainment reasons. Yeah.
For entertainment reasons. And like I'm super attracted to him, and whenever I refer to him as him, my friends are like, excuse me, it's her. And I'm like, no, he comes out and says he is a dude. And I'm like,
Yeah.
so he's in that weird in between space that I find fascinating.
It is, right?
I
Yeah.
love androgyny and any sort of playing with gender roles and all that. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I mean, ever since I was a kid, David Bowie made it all like, oh, this is all interesting.
Well, David Bowie's amazing. It's like sex like all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah,
And then getting to see Gillian Anderson as David Bowie on American Gods this year, I was just like, this came full circle for me.
That's right. Hey, how about that?
That's pretty cool. I didn't
That's
even
funny
know
because
that
Bob
until
is
you said
very
that.
in with, what the fuck is that play? God damn it.
Which one?
The androgynous rock play.
Or Hedwig and the
Oh,
Angry
Hedwig.
Inch.
Yes,
Hedwig,
yes.
yeah. But that's been off, I think, now, hasn't it? Or is it still there?
It's off now.
Yeah.
But it'll be on again. It always
It'll be
Yeah,
on
we
again.
did.
There's a movie. I mean, that's one of my all-time favorite musicals.
It was supposed. Yeah, I didn't see it. It was supposed to be amazing. He was in the front row, like probably like every time.
Well, that's Bob.
Yeah,
But he knows the writer.
right.
Oh, I love the writer of that. He starred in the movie.
Yes.
He plays Hedwig in the movie.
Yes.
He's so good. David Cameron Mitchell. I
Yes.
think?
Yeah.
You're right. That's him.
He's great.
Yeah, he is.
So, would you have any interest in being in a bi documentary?
Sure,
It's not a pan documentary, but it's a
No,
bi
no.
documentary.
that's all right.
we can talk about
I
the way
identified
people- I'm
as
only
bi
te-
for a long time.
I'm
we
only
can talk
teasing.
about.
I'm
we can
only
talk,
teasing you.
But that's part of what that's part of what we're going to get into. You
I
know that.
I'm teasing her though. I
It's
didn't
like-
want. I'm not. I just wanted her to know I was teasing her. So.
Oh, it's okay. You could say far worse things than that.
Yeah.
And I would
Oh
not
my
be
God.
upset.
No, it's-
And that's some people identify as queer just because it's a nice catch-all. You know.
It's a really good. Queer's a great way to not have to get into explaining it exactly.
right.
Yeah.
And you
That's the way
shouldn't have
Susie.
to.
That's the way Susie identifies.
Right, and you shouldn't have to really. I mean,
It's my business.
Absolutely.
Exactly. But you know what? I'm like of the school now where once it became you can marry same sex, like why can't you just hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. So, are you gay, straight, bi? What's your story? Hey, it should I don't see why it should be a hang up anymore. And maybe that's because I've come out and I've
Expecting-
experienced
That's
that
how
freedom.
That's how I felt about it for a long time. But then I had somebody very close to me have a very difficult time with coming out. And I talked to some friends who had stories who had very difficult times coming out. I had a friend whose parents disowned him. I had another friend who didn't want to come out because they were afraid that the families and things like that. And I feel like there is still a stigma, and it really depends on what part of the country you're in.
Right.
Because down here, especially out in the
Oh
more
my
rural
God.
areas where I live, you can't be openly out because it's actually dangerous. There's hate crimes and
There's
stuff down here.
people that will hurt you.
Ironically, the
Kill you.
person who sort of inspired us to want to become filmmakers was Malcolm Ingram.
Right.
And Malcolm Ingram did the movie Small Town Gay Bar.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
essentially
Yeah.
what that's about.
That's amazing
you know?
if you ever see. It's it hurts though.
Yeah,
It hurts a lot.
And he's actually filming a sequel to that now.
Right. But
Or a
that's
follow-up
why.
or whatever.
That's
but
for
yeah, having
us.
him on the show when he was walking through, how he shot documentaries, it was so funny because, by the time he was done explaining, I'm like, I could do that. And,
Right.
I know all the elements. I know how to put this together. And it's just a matter of now that he's told me,
Right.
the magic secret, which is, I hire an editor.
Right.
It's like, oh, shit, I can do that too. Because I don't know the software that great, but I can hire someone that does. And, along the way, you find out all kinds of other things. And it's been an amazing experience for us. So.
And I'm sorry, but Danielle hit it like on the head for me. I'm telling you, when she just said that about people down by her that are unable to do that.
It sucks.
This is why this is why I talk about it as much as I can, because even if there's like one person that they could say, just because it becomes like you're damaged, it becomes that you're like in a cage. You become,
I can tell you this: move to an urban center,
or just to have someone.
To come out.
You know what I mean? It's okay to just tell someone. You should be able to tell everyone, but in some places you can't, which really sucks.
Yeah, it's a bugbear.
But to be like the light for someone, to shield the people that are unable to do it for themselves, to be their comfort. I don't know. That's how I look at it.
Well, and I feel like those of us who are able to come out and to be super public about it, I feel like it's on us to do it. Like,
right,
if
it's our duty.
Do it, it's our duty to do it, so that somebody else who can't can look at us and go,
Agreed.
I'm not alone.
Right.
And that's where we are now with, like you said, as pan, like that's why we say kind of poly, because what we've actually discovered while we move in the swing community, there's sort of a difference between what I would call a swinger and someone who's polyamorous, and we definitely identify with the
word
polyamorous
swing
side.
Makes me laugh.
Yeah, like there is a lot of leftover 70s.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why it makes me laugh.
Like even the fact that now it's sort of referred to as lifestyle,
right.
which has become more of a generic term, a very general term. Like you can put a lot more under a lifestyle umbrella than you can under I'm a swinger.
Ralph Garman.
And
Ralph Garman just came
out as a swinger. Yes.
Oh,
so we're gonna have him back on the show.
Oh my God,
we're gonna have him
Ralph
on the show.
Garman. That blew me away.
It didn't blow me away that much because of the Playboy stuff he talked about, but then it made sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, when he started talking about lingo, that's like, and
then Kevin's all coy and stuff about it.
Part of the reason I'm talking about this is because we came out about we came out about our sexuality, then eventually, just because of our situation, it makes sense that we would come out about our lifestyle, because two bisexuals living together, it just makes it better to be in an open relationship, so you're not putting all kinds of baggage and bullshit on each other.
Absolutely.
For us, and that's the way that worked, and then and like you said, since we're doing podcasting, it naturally grew out of, let's help to normalize this shit. Let's talk about it. And there's definitely funny stuff that goes on.
Oh my God, it's
in
so
the community
funny.
and the dating and all.
Well, life is funny.
But this makes it even funnier.
Well, it just adds a little spice and a little fun.
Yeah, and then there's
it's hysterical.
I still get a kick out of the fact that
a lot of hysterical things.
People's wildest fantasies are your Thursday night. Kind of thing, as they say.
But it can be. But Danielle, you have to listen. You go on YouTube and listen to the latest Babylon with Kevin and Ralph.
It's not even that long because it's an old episode.
It's an old one,
like
and thinking about it, just to think about how we are, just that you can think about how we are. And Kevin and Ralph is like talking about how he's.
So did you swing while you were at Comic-Con? I'm sorry, we got to bring this back to Comic-Con somehow.
No, but I wanted to talk. Now I totally lost my train of thought. I was so excited about telling you. Listen.
So sorry.
Oh. There's a point where he's so like pro lifestyle, like telling Kevin, you can do it too. And Kevin
is like, he's almost got that jealous anger going on. He's like
you can
mad
tell on his face, like,
at Ralph.
You were there, and then he goes, and there's a part of it, and he goes, you were in it, weren't you?
Were they doing anal? And Ralph is like, well, it's not like
my God, you would not.
He's like, well, you just hang out and watch. And you hear Kevin drop the mic.
It's just like, oh my God, he thinks this is like, but he keeps telling him, you can do it too.
He does bring up a couple of good points.
Like
why
what?
have you never told me
the
most exciting part of your personality until today?
It's just, But the fact that he kept
saying,
you can do it.
It had to do with, there was a bunch of swingers in the audience.
Right. But like all Kevin needed to do was go to a party and he could do it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he didn't
Kevin
realize
was
that was like so easy. Like, oh my God, that happens.
But parties are not necessarily the best
and
gateway.
That's not my like really cup of tea. But what I'm saying is it's that easy if that's what you want to try.
So swingers will fuck anything in a room at a party. They say they won't, but really they will. And they almost oblige everyone in the room to do likewise.
Yeah, and fucking isn't always my my reason for
Yeah. So that's how we know we're not, and we're more into relationships. We like people. We like, and we like to be involved with people that will somehow, enhance the rest of our lives too.
Yeah, and to have something that you like that,
Yeah. Someone
like a hobby that's the same or something, but you just can't like.
I mean, occasionally you get through some one night stands to get there, but hey, shit happens.
Well.
I never really understood polyamory or the lifestyle or any of that until somebody that I looked up to revealed that, hey, she's in an open marriage and it's very public. It's Amanda Palmer, the singer, and she's married to Neil Gaiman, the author.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they're
Neil Gaiman's in an open relationship?
Open marriage, you betcha.
Awesome. I love Neil Gaiman.
Oh my God, I love that.
I just listened to his fucking latest book.
That is so cool.
About
Norse mythology.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Norse
I wonder if
mythology.
he would come on the show. Wait, okay.
Yeah,
He
we
might.
have new sites.
They might. He might.
Oh my
She
God.
might.
And we know Amanda Palmer, too.
She's
Yeah, we know
amazing.
Amanda.
She came out and said, she talked about we're on the road all the time and we're away from each other for 6 months to a year at a time. She goes, and we have so many people that we love that it's unfair to keep that part of ourselves locked away because of a ring on our fingers.
I know, right?
And it's the old, I mean, you hear it 1,000 times, but, you love your daughter, you love your son, you love
There's
your
so
father,
much
you love your
love.
mother, you love your wife. You can love other people.
Yeah, like when-
it all kind of works.
Yeah, like where's the cutoff?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Where do you cut it?
There is no. It's the old, there is a bottle of love, and there's only so much in it. And if you shake it up too much and pour it out, you'll run out of love.
I agree. There's enough love to go around.
Right.
And for me personally, I've just never, polyamory doesn't work because my relationship is complicated enough without bringing more people into it.
I
So
so
I'm
get that
I
too.
feel like
I understand that.
you need to be at a place where you are 100% okay with that with both of you. And I don't. It's we're happy.
Right. Absolutely.
As we talked about with Keith and the girl, there's like when you enter into a relationship, the problems are when you don't talk about when let's put it when the rules are assumed and they're never discussed.
Yeah.
That's when things are dangerous.
Right.
And the problem is too many people enter into the modern monogamous relationship with no talk of expectations of any of that. They just assume what the limits are. And the question is that right? And at some point, are you painting yourself into a corner? But if a couple has talked about that shit up front, it might not be an issue down the line.
Right.
Well, and I think people need to talk about a lot of couples just don't talk about the things they need to be talking about.
So true.
You need to talk about your kinks. You need to talk about what you expect romantically. You need to talk about what you expect from them as a friend and a partner. I mean, communication is key. I completely agree with what you had to say.
100%.
That's to me the most important part of any relationship is that you can communicate effectively and be honest and trust each other.
I wonder if we should put this on our Tales from the Swing show.
We could do both.
It's actually better.
Yeah.
Maybe we should double drop. Yeah. We could do that. That's actually a cool thing.
Yeah. She sounds like a doctor, too.
Yes.
We'll call her Dr. Danielle.
So we call
I
you
wish.
Doctor. Yes. Not a real doctor.
No, on
One
the
day.
show.
Just
On
like-
this show, you're Dr. Danielle.
No,
I'll
just
take
like
it.
She'll take it, see? Good
just
girl.
like Andrew McElfresh.
She worked hard for that name.
Not a real doctor.
Well, I mean, my initials are DR. so there you go.
DR,
There
see?
you go.
I told you. And she worked her ass off at Comic-Con. She deserves it.
Well, yeah, she danced like
That's
a
my
like
stamp.
A, like a
oh my
dancer.
God, I was so proud of you. I hope you heard me scream. Yay!
That's so funny.
Like Morty jumping up and down
Oh, thank you.
from the
Yeah.
balcony.
That guy
That
deserved
was
it, though.
fun.
The guy who
Yeah.
won.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
When he won, I got off stage and I'm texting my friend and she's like,
Oh my
"Hey,
God.
how are you?" And I was like, "I just entered a dance contest in front of a whole bunch of people." And she's like, "Did you win?" And I was like, "No, but I'm not mad about it."
Oh my God, wasn't he adorable? Like from where I was, he was adorable.
precious. Oh my
so
goodness.
cute. Yeah.
He looked like he was about 17.
Oh, he's so
He
funny.
looked pretty hot from where I was standing, actually.
He was
He
a
was cute.
baby.
And the girls next to
He
you
did
were
look
all
cute.
hot for him.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, he could move too.
We were up in one of those balcony things, one of those side side rounders.
Yeah.
You know, like, ooh, look
like
at
in
me.
the Muppet Show.
Or like how Lincoln died.
Oh my God, I'm thinking in the Muppet Show, and
I'm thinking Lincoln in the booth.
There
Oh
you go.
my God, we just watched that the other night. It was just like
Yeah, we were
such a beautiful
Spielberg
movie.
kick.
Spielberg, yes,
And Halloween, of course.
everyone watch the documentary, the Spielberg
Oh, it's so
documentary.
good.
Yeah, it
It's
really was
amazing.
good.
It's
I watched
so
it in my
good.
hotel room while I was editing articles, and I was
Oh,
just
wasn't
sitting
it
there like,
great?
this is the best.
Okay, then I'm
know.
going to tell you another horror movie you should watch just because tis the season. John Carpenter's The Fog.
The fog.
Yes.
My dad, anytime there was fog when I was a kid, he's like, it's the fog. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you'll find out when you're older.
Check it out. It's actually, I mean, it's like, it's post Halloween,
Not too
so it
creepy,
had a
Dad.
little budget. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it. Oh my God, she's like the worst character ever. She is. I'm not to slut shame, but she's like an example of everything you wouldn't do, everything you want your daughter not to do. She literally jumps in a car with a hitchhiker, and she's fucking him that night.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
that's not smart.
But the dialogue is awful
Well, now, let's
too.
not
Like,
shame her.
No, I'm not shaming her. I'm more
I'm not shaming her. It's a bad
I'm
decision
only teasing.
safety-wise.
I'm shaming her more for the dialogue that led her to sleep with him. Like, if
Yeah.
you just hear the fucking
That's legitimate.
the
Yeah.
fucking shit that comes out of her mouth
definitely was
before
not-
sleeping with this
Yeah.
dude, you'd be like, what the fuck? Way too many fucking acid trips.
Yeah. She definitely wasn't like Adrienne Barbeau. I mean,
Yes, who was way up on the
boobies.
Yeah, ooh, looking great.
I know.
Like at her peak.
Actually,
You ever see Creepshow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know who Adrienne Barbeau is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she's in The Fog too. And if anything, watch it because this movie is ripe for a remake. Someone should take that sucker. That'd be a good property to reboot.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. I'm just excited we're getting this Stephen King renaissance, this insane influx of Stephen King stuff, because that's what I came up on.
Yeah,
12, 13
I was
years
gonna
old.
say, as someone who's read his shit, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that people
No.
are finding it good. But yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I know that's crazy, but I read
It's
the
good.
book. I read the book, so and I remember, and I actually reread it about a year ago. So I get it.
It's my fiance's favorite book of his, and Stephen King's his favorite author. So
and Stephen King that's his favorite book.
yeah, and the movie's good, and both the fiance and I enjoyed it, and I actually could not finish it. I tried to read it 3 times and put it down about 100 pages in each time. So
do yourself a favor. Go to what the fuck is the name of the town, Gene, that we went to?
Oh, we went to Bangor.
County, yeah, Bangor.
Bangor.
Bangor, Maine.
Because Bangor
That
is
was
Derry.
amazing.
He doesn't
yeah.
say it, and he refers to Bangor as
Right.
being outside, but it's not. They are one in the same town.
Yeah.
So, like, all the things referenced in it, you can see. It's fucking amazing.
That's like every time I go visit my relatives in the Midwest, I feel like I'm on John Carpenter's Halloween set. Like, I'm just like, this feels like
Yeah.
I'm gonna get killed by Mike Myers.
Doesn't
any
that
second.
come out too?
We
on
actually
Friday?
set up a tour with this guy who
Oh
does
my
the
God.
tours, and so he took us to all the really cool spots.
That was kind of creepy.
Yeah, it was
too,
just
though.
us, and it was great. It was probably that was the best part of our whole trip
Yeah.
up to Maine. The rest was
Oh my
absolutely
God. It was
piss
like
boring.
horrendous. Like
It was like
never-
staring at foliage, like no, anything but this. There's not enough weed in the world that would make this fun.
You should go up in October though, because they have a pumpkin race, and they actually build boats out of these like 5-foot wide pumpkins, and
Oh
they
my
race them with
God.
That would be
paddles
fun.
down the river.
Oh my
Only
God.
in Maine.
That sounds like fun. Like, can you go in the boats, or that's more like you just watch?
It's more like you watch, but if you had your own pumpkin and wanted to compete, you
Oh my
absolutely
God.
could.
Can you see me trying to carve a ship out of a boat?
Yeah.
I mean, out of a pumpkin. I mean, that's comical.
Well, considering you can't even think of it now, no.
It's just making me laugh trying to think of it.
Yeah, my favorite Stephen King experience was I got to stay in the Stanley Hotel, which is where he stayed when he was inspired to write The Shining.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What was that like?
That's in.
It's
isn't that?
Estes Park, Colorado.
Yeah, the Colorado. Yeah.
What was that like?
It's so creepy, and
Oh my God, that must have
they
been.
do a ghost tour, and you go on the ghost tour, and they tell you all these different stories, and they have pictures of all the people that like died there on the walls, and
Whoa.
Okay.
they have a 24-hour Shining channel where you can just watch The Shining. And
I was
so
gonna
of course
say-
I did.
As someone who's read the book and seen the movie, I have to say the movie is better.
I would agree.
Nobody dies in the book. No one even
No.
realizes that. No one dies in the book. There's no maze. There's these weird
That maze
topulary
is fucked up.
animals. There's animals made of hedges, essentially, that move a little.
That
Which are in the
maze-
miniseries, but not the
That's-
movie.
And there's
That's
there's
right.
like a scene with a wasp nest coming back to life and stinging them and being real weird. But
Oh my
I mean,
God.
that's sort of like no one dies, so like there's never, you don't feel like any real skin in the game. There's no, it just feels like a weird weekend or whatever.
Whereas,
Because no one
whereas
dies.
Kubrick's movie is this
That's
just
so fucked up.
existential nightmare.
Yeah, it's dark. And it's funny. King had a problem with it. And
Yeah.
his problem was, well, that what's his name's going to go crazy.
Nicholson, which
Jack?
I do agree that Nicholson does come off as crazy from the get go.
Oh,
He
yeah, but he
does.
should. Because really, in truth, it made the movie better.
Yeah, but he
Oh, he's
wasn't. He
Because
wasn't
he was
crazy
a guy
right
who,
from the beginning.
He was a guy who got drunk and dislocated his son's arm. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah. So don't go apologizing for that. Anyway. And that was what the movie was more about, was about alcoholism. Because Stephen King,
Well,
at
he
the
was
time,
hallucinating.
was an active alcoholic
He was
and
hallucinating.
struggling with it.
Yeah.
Well, and wasn't that during the cocaine days too for King?
Well, you heard
Yeah,
about
he
Cujo, right?
was-
Oh my god! Well, and he
He
wrote
came
it
out-
during the cocaine days
Right.
too.
Well, he came out of a blackout, and Cujo was on his desk.
Can you believe that shit?
He's like, "What a good book! I wish I remember
During the
writing
blackout,
it."
he wrote that. That's
crazy.
so crazy.
I mean, but you can tell that it was under the influence of
Oh my
something because
God.
a Saint Bernard would never be the dog that would be the killer dog.
Yeah.
Well, but that's genius though, because think about that.
Well,
think
yeah,
about the
but-
size and the power of
Oh.
a Saint Bernard, and then make it go rapid.
Oh my god.
I was a dog groomer for 5 years
Oh.
professionally, and I can tell you they're so strong you can't even
Oh my
imagine.
god, I
Well, we
couldn't
had one
imagine
for a little
grooming
while.
a Saint Bernard.
As a little.
No, we didn't
Oh
have
no,
a Saint
that's
Bernard.
right. We had an English sheepdog.
English
that's
sheepdog.
right.
Oh my god.
They're
I'm
big, too.
So in
Yeah,
love.
it was
Reba.
at a bad point. We ended
Oh my
up
God,
giving him
Reba.
up for adoption.
Well,
Yes.
I'm sorry, her name was Reba, and she
Yes.
was like a delight and so beautiful.
Yeah, but
what she did was she kind of went at our son, and he was like barely one.
Yeah.
And she like kind of toppled him
yeah,
over.
so it was like
So we kind of realized
There
that
was
having
bad
this dog
timing.
right now is just, it wasn't really that long, so they were able to find like maybe in like a couple of days she got adopted. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
people like would love
She was
like
gorgeous.
when you see a dog like
she was
that,
a gorgeous
it's like
pedigree
a beautiful
dog, so there's no reason. I mean, she was like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
fucking $1,000. That was the thing that only bought me. It was like $1,500 down the fucking
Oh my
toilet.
God. But you know what? If it's going to maul your kid, what's the
Whatever
point
the
of
fuck
that?
it was.
No, that's you don't want your kid
Yeah,
mauled.
she was
And
so
the
beautiful,
adoption
though, and
fees
I'm
and all the
not-
blah blah blah.
And like doing that hurt me and I knew that she was going to a home, but I don't know, like
Yes, I'm sure in another 5 years the dog would have fucking did our
No, but you
taxes and
bring
sorted
the
our
dog home,
underpants
but
and all
you
that.
bring the
but-
dog home, and then you have to like get rid. I don't know. I just felt bad getting rid of her, just because it just felt.
Oh,
like a
we
bad-
ended up with a better dog later in life anyway. It was all
I
good. It
know.
all worked out the way it was supposed to.
Life is a series of dogs. That's what
Yes.
George Carlin says.
And he was
Oh
right.
yeah, I love his thing where he's like, "You wish you could just take them in after they died, put them on the table, and be like, I want another one, just like
like
I
that."
that.
know,
yes.
just like that. But you're not going to get that. Yeah.
No,
Never.
Absolutely
That's not the way it
not.
works.
Yeah. Do you have any animals?
I do. I have a puppy. She's 10 months old now. She's my first dog I've ever had on my own, so
Aw.
she's my baby, and her name is Ripley after Ellen Ripley from Aliens.
Yes.
Yes.
What kind of dog is
We
Ripley?
have a friend who
She's
just
a mutt. She's a we think border collie Italian greyhound.
Oh, I love border collies. They're the best dog ever.
Yeah,
have-
she's really smart.
we
Oh,
have a
I
friend
bet.
who actually just worked with Ripley
Yes.
on Defenders. He's a set dresser.
Nice.
Yeah.
And he's our editor actually.
Michael Joseph Consolmagno.
Yes.
I like
And
to
a good
say
buddy.
that name.
Yes.
That is a good name.
Isn't that a Michael Joseph Consolmagno, right? MJC.
And
Place
the place
to
to
very
be.
fancy name.
It's a very, and when you meet him,
He's an awesome guy.
Even fancier when you meet him.
He's very cool. He's a
Yeah.
set dresser by day, and he's our editor, and
Yeah.
he also is our DP at night.
Right. And he's an awesome guy, like all around.
Yes.
We love him.
Serious props. But he did get, as a result of working on that stuff, he got to meet Ripley.
I know, right? And who else did he? Scarlett
Oh,
Johansson.
He's met him. Well, yeah. Well, that was a different gig, though.
I know, but
I would be more
Good
hype
idea.
about Sigourney Weaver than
Oh,
ScarJo,
yeah.
though.
yeah.
And it's funny because when you're in this industry and you start meeting celebrities, it's funny who you geek out for, because sometimes it totally catches you by surprise. Like
Right.
you'll meet an A-lister and just not give a shit, and then you turn around and meet somebody that like most people have never heard of, and you've got like the flop sweat and
you're just like
you're shaking and you're like, oh my god.
I would
can't
say
speak.
the biggest person we've met and interviewed for the podcast movie was Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh my god, it was so
and
crazy.
it's very nervous.
He's so smart. I'd be so
Yeah.
intimidated.
And
just
here's the
so
deal.
intimidating.
So
I know,
we have
right?
2 DPs that we work with, and so they're both there for that shoot, of course. And
Everybody shows up that day,
yeah,
nice
exactly.
and early.
But one of our DPs' name is Damien. He's a great guy, but he's also really smart.
He's super
like,
smart.
he's like college, he's like professional student type.
And he's going into nursing school.
Yeah, now he's going to nursing
he's
school
in nursing
and a
school now.
cameraman. But anyway,
I know, right?
But I don't remember what the fuck it was, but he sort of kind of got into a little bit of an argument with Neil deGrasse Tyson about something. I'm like, oh my god!
Well,
our
it was about
cameraman's fighting with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh my god.
Apparently, I don't remember what it was about. It was about some other scientist, but like Neil deGrasse Tyson knew exactly what the fuck he was talking about right away and just jumped in.
Right.
And didn't
I thought it was like a Cosmos thing or something.
Yeah, I
like
think
that.
it was. I'm just not sure what the philosophy was that I'm sure Damien remembers to this day.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't even imagine. Like, there's a few that I've met that
Carl
I'm just
Sagan.
instantly like you're just like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god.
Yeah.
How do I talk to this person? They are. Like I met Gina Davis and it was like that.
my
I was
God, I
just
love her.
like, and she was not happy with my cameraman because he was shooting her way too low, and
Oh, yeah.
she's very tall.
Oh no.
My poor cameraman, he's like standing there and goes, Gina Davis yelled at me, and I thought he was gonna cry, and I'm like, honey, it's okay, it's okay.
Aw.
But she was lovely after she corrected him shooting her too low, which I don't blame her.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you know, just say it. I mean, she wasn't being mean about it. She just knew
she was
that
just
you needed
like,
to be
she
higher.
was like, come on, fix that.
Fix that.
Hey,
I'm
what
tall.
was
Fix
the
it.
press gaggle we met you at?
That was
That was-
Stand Against Evil.
That
Okay.
starts tonight.
Now
doesn't
that
it?
guy,
Yes.
that's the same guy I'm talking about from Scrubs, right?
John C. McGinley from Scrubs.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
Everyone thinks he's an asshole.
Yeah, he's a hoot. I've interviewed him 3 times now, and every single time he's been funny, engaging. He does not suffer fools lightly, because I've heard him go off on people, but they've deserved it. It's been situations where it was like reporters that just clearly did not know anything about the property, about him, didn't do their research, came totally unprepared. And even then he makes it
It's so
funny.
interesting because if that's the case, like if I don't know what someone like, if I don't know the property that they're I'll go craft, because who the fuck doesn't like to talk about what they do? You know what I mean?
Right?
Go craft, talk about acting, get into it, because once you open up their passion, it's easy to talk to.
Right.
Exactly. Just make a conversation about it. But these were people that it was like very rote, and they were asking questions about things that he did like 15 years ago when he's trying to promote this. And
or gotcha questions or shit like that.
And they weren't being creative with their questions. You need to be creative with your questions. I mean, it has to be...
Basically, they weren't into the thing. They weren't into him or his thing.
Yes,
they were just into gotchas.
Yeah.
And they mispronounced his name twice.
No.
See, now that is something I can kind of get, because I'm like, when I look at someone's name, if I don't necessarily know it, I will stumble.
No, they didn't stumble. They flat out just mispronounced. They called him McKinney.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
And I'm like, there's clearly a G there, y'all.
Right.
But
now, did he correct them?
He did. He corrected them, and then he said, let's try that again. Let's do another take. And then the second take, he stumbled over his name again and then asked him a dumb question.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. If you get corrected, get it right the next time. And I'm not saying to be a bitch, but it's true.
You mean like Hemda?
Hemda, yeah.
I just fucked that up, too.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's important to people to say your name right. Hello. That's like number one.
If you're going to spell my name, spell it right.
Well, say it. I'm talking about saying it.
Yeah, I mean...
Okay,
like,
Gene, but you could still spell your name wrong. There's how many times
well,
have you
my
seen
name.
Gene?
And you know what I say to people? Dumb fuck. Gene is the boy's name. I'm a girl. Obviously, I'm a girl.
And you
can
have
tell.
that French
Even if
writing,
you
so.
just hear me, I sound like a girl. Do I sound like a boy?
No.
A really
Thank you.
hot boy.
At work, I deal with insurance companies and stuff.
You got an
And
ass like a 10-year-old boy.
Gene with a G. No. Jay.
It's like, I'm not Gene Hackman.
Jay
I'm
is
not,
in jerk
yeah,
off.
I'm not Gene Hackman.
Well, it's like, I go by Danny, and people spell it Danny, and I'm like, no, that's the boy version.
Yeah,
Like,
Dani, right?
But can you
it's
blame
DANI.
us? Because we never know.
No, but Daniel.
Because you could be DANNIEEIEI.
Okay,
If you're in LA.
Danielle is spelled, and I hope I spell it right. Danielle. So
That is correct.
Dani would be Dani. You're just taking the whole rest of the name off. What's the problem with that? Just
Yeah,
makes
it's not
total
that hard.
sense.
Who the heck's name was it I was trying to spell the other
See?
day? And then I went, wait, I bet you it's spelled wrong. And I threw a Y in there, and sure as shit.
You were wrong.
I was right that it was
Oh.
wrong.
Oh,
And it's one of those that's spelled different, like Willem
Yes,
Dafoe.
it's one of those
yeah.
names. Well, Willem is a name, but it was more like
But I've seen it spelled
like
three
Lisa
different ways.
with a Y or
I have
something
too.
like that.
I have too.
It was
I've seen Willem Dafoe's name spelled three different ways in movie credits. Like, it's
What is it?
always spelled different.
Willem, right?
Yeah, but I've seen it with an A at the end. I've seen it W-I-L-L, or W-I-L-L-A-M, and then I've actually
Wow.
seen it William Dafoe in movie credits, and I'm
all
like,
I can
y'all.
think of
Ooh.
is Jerry.
Who?
Jerry, because he's like Willem Dafoe
Oh,
in
yeah.
that one episode. It's like, that was the name I was thinking of before.
Yeah.
Was the joke?
Oh my god, I do shit like that when I remember my name. I just like blurt it out.
Yes.
Not my name, but the name that I'm
Well, what do you
thinking.
want? This planet pays us in pills.
Oh my god. More Rick and Morty. And the fourth season needs to come out soon.
So did
Now,
you
if only we could just make the fandom calm down a little bit.
I know.
did you get to meet
I
what's
know.
his name? Fuck, the guy from Home Alone.
Oh yeah.
Macaulay Culkin?
Macaulay
Yes,
Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin.
I did not.
I saw
that
you
would
met-
have been great.
I totally want
Who did you get a picture with from the crew? Oh, fuck, from the
I
Robot Chicken crew.
Breckenmeyer.
That's
yes,
right.
yes,
That's right.
yes.
Breckenmeyer.
That was a good panel. I liked
Yes,
it.
it was.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And Breckenmeyer, like, I was in love with him as a wee Danny. I saw Road Trip, and then he
Oh my
was
God,
sort of
Road
this.
Trip.
He was the skater guy in Clueless, and
Oh my
I was
God,
just
yes.
in love
That's
with
right.
him as a teenager. So when I got to take that picture with him, like, the little teenage
The
me
little
still
girl
inside
in
was
you.
losing it.
You were like, oh my god.
I love that all these old kid actors are just like they've become successful on Robot Chicken.
Seeing Macaulay Culkin like looking
That was great.
looking
He looked
good is
good.
great.
He was really pale, but otherwise looked good.
I wasn't that close to see him like pale, but he looked better. I just
Well, when they did their sexy pose, he ripped his shirt open, and I went blind for a
oh,
second.
yeah. He's like translucent.
All I know is his brother got all the best lines in fucking.
Oh my
what do you
God,
call it?
Scott
Yes,
Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim.
And
Oh
Scott
my
Pilgrim.
god.
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he
so
really did.
great.
He's a star
And
of that
Macaulay
show.
Culkin has the best lines in the movie Saved. I don't know if y'all have seen that.
I
No.
haven't seen Say, but I know what it is. It's just
Oh, it's phenomenal.
I never took the time. Because
Really? Now when
I'm an
did that
atheist,
come out?
so it's like fuck that shit.
When did that come out?
Saved came out. Shit, I was in high school, so it's set
Oh,
in-
so it's been a while.
2000s.
yeah, early 2000s. But it's a great movie because, especially for me, because I actually had a Bible thrown at me in school.
Oh,
I had
yeah,
people
you're
tell
from-
me I was going to hell all the time. I had people telling me that I was a sinner and a heathen and all kinds of crazy shit. Because
Yeah, if you're down south.
I was raised Catholic
Right.
and came to Baptist land, and
yes.
and then I didn't even stay Catholic long after that. By the time I was
Yeah.
13, I was like, religion can suck a fart.
It's funny how Christians don't
Yeah.
view Catholicism as a Christian
And I'm like,
religion,
"You're
even
not
though it's sort of like, hey, we're the original motherfucker.
We're
Yeah.
the OGs.
Not
Come
not
on.
that matters because I'm an atheist now.
Everybody-
anyway, but I was raised
everybody-
in that tradition.
Everybody I don't want to say everybody. A lot of people don't take Catholics seriously because I don't think a lot of Catholics themselves take themselves seriously.
Well, they call you papists because
Yeah.
they believe that you believe in what the Pope believes.
right.
I mean, I believe that at least we have a decent pope for once.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
guess he's getting
He is
better.
Relatively.
decent.
He's getting better. He's certainly and compared to Trump and the last guy, I would say he's a fucking saint. So
He really
there you go.
is. Oh, that part is good.
When
Yes.
you compare him to Ratzinger,
Oh my god.
Oh, I used to call him Pope Sidious.
Nazi Pope should never
And
have
all
been,
the
or
shit that
former
he knew.
former Nazi youth Pope. Should
All the
never
shit that he
actually
knew
go
too,
together,
and
but
all that
yeah.
abuse that he knew. Like,
Oh,
forget it.
God.
No.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Hey!
Yay,
Wait, hang on a minute. Let's go. There you go.
I like that better. Oh my God, you
Grace.
losers.
Fuck me and make me forget we got a stupid kid. Coming, John.
This is terrible. This is the worst of the worst.
Yeah, that was way too loud. Sorry. Well, too
Oh, my
hot
God.
on the signal end. Wow. So I know that you have another show that you have to get ready to do, which is yours. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your show since we've rambled like crazy people? And this is this will be on both of our feeds.
Oh, awesome.
That way we can double plug. It's kind
So we
of
can
it'll be
hear-
a cool crossover.
Yeah, tell us about
I love
your
it.
show.
And I'll definitely plug you guys on my show. We do a thing where we talk. We call it.
We would
Freaky
love for
this
you
week.
to plug us on
So,
your show.
What is it?
Sorry.
We do Freaky this week, where we talk about the things that we're digging on that particular week. So we'll definitely give you guys a plug at the beginning of the show.
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. And thanks for having me. But our show is Freaky Fandoms. We just started it this year. I started in January. Myself and my co-host, Andrew Hawkins, who I met through just this whole big fandom, chud.com, weird internet writing family. And because it's
Did you just
incestuous
say
and strange.
chud as in cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers?
Yeah,
Wow.
I did.
That's amazing.
And that's where I got my start, was chud.com,
cool.
based on that. And then it was cinematic happenings under development, but the logo was the sewer cap from the movie Chud and all that. So I got started writing shitty DVD reviews for them way back in the day. I did like a Porn Shoot Massacre and like the Pumpkinhead Blu-ray and
Oh, wow.
shit like that.
I saw
So
someone
that-
actually defending that online recently. Pumpkinhead.
It's not very good. Some of the effects are kind of cool, but that's all I'll give it.
It's the fog.
No. But, so we did Freaky Fandoms, and what we do is each week we pick a property, whether it's TV, music, movies, whatever, and whether the property itself is freaky or the fandom is freaky, and then we break down kind of how we feel about all that and whether we feel the fan base is deserved. Like, we did a Rick and Morty episode, and we're like, hey, okay, this fan base is rabid, they're crazy. Is it deserving of that? To which we say, yes, Rick and Morty's incredible, and it totally deserves to have this fan base, but y'all need to
Ask
calm down.
McDonald's.
Yeah, they do need to calm down with the fucking sauce. Come on, people.
But I think
Szechuan
that's 'cause they're young.
sauce.
I think that's a lot of the really young fans, because
Yeah.
they remind me of like Invader Zim fans back in the day, where you're just like, y'all calm down.
Thanks, Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Mr. Poopy Butthole.
I never thought I'd cry because of a character named
my
Mr. Poopy
God.
Butthole, but I
know.
cried.
Me too.
Oh my god! Yeah. So,
After
yeah,
988 seasons of Planet Music, the Cromulons
God.
have decided to declare Earth the final winner and bring our musical reality show to a conclusion. Goodbye.
Always
Yes.
love the end there.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a great show.
It's brilliant.
Yeah. It's hard not, like, as soon as I saw that, it was like, this is brilliant. You can't, it's undeniable. If you didn't get it at the first episode, but the second one with the fucking dog.
Oh, that's when I was sold. Like, the
Yeah,
first
and
episode,
Scary
I was like,
Terry.
This is good. This is fun. And then we get to the lawnmower dog and Scary Terry,
Okay,
and I was like,
now-
I'm sold.
Okay, now, as someone, in our situation, open lifestyle, open this, it's so funny because we were watching the third episode, which I believe is the Christmas episode, and my
Yes.
son cracks up and he goes, it's so funny because it's true.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And now, not that we have, the creepy guys over to talk about, but I mean, our kids aren't oblivious to the world because, I mean, after all, they could tune in our show. So as it goes, But anyway,
Right.
But that was just so
yeah, but
hilarious.
that's what we want
because,
them to know, that there's different ways to live.
that-
You don't have to
that
be
not everything is bad. Oh, it's all
Yeah.
bad.
You still have to be safe.
You're
You
gonna
still have to be
die.
smart,
Oh,
but it doesn't have to
you're,
be.
You're bad people. Your marriage is not going to
No.
work.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're working against that shit. But anyway, but so that was also nice seeing that in the Rick and Morty episode.
Well, I think a lot of Dan Harmon's stuff has been that way. Like, I'm a huge fan of Community.
Right.
That show spoke to me like few other television shows ever have. And I go back and watch that sometimes, like it's therapy almost. Like I'll go back and be like, all right, I need a Troy and Abed episode. I just need to lose myself in that. And I think he's speaking to people who have been a little bit marginalized in all of his work. And I love Rick and Morty for that. And I love that there's a message in every single episode, but sometimes you have to dig for it.
My favorite new character of season 3 was Dr. Wong.
Oh my God.
In the Pickle Rick episode, because she just fucking breaks it all down.
That was the best thing ever. And as somebody who does have to go through therapy, and as somebody who does work through that stuff, she's right. Therapy is work. It's not fun, but you have to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
And I love that she breaks down that whole thing. You view your mind, it switches between being an inescapable curse and the force that drives you, or something like that. And I was like, I have never, like, that spoke to me again. It was one of those situations where you're like, did he write this for me? Like, I needed to hear that right at that moment. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm not alone.
So, do you think that Beth is a clone or is not a clone?
I do not think she's a clone, but I also think...
I agree.
I don't. I think that's definitely Beth.
Yeah, I do too. And the reason why is because of Jerry. Because Jerry planted one on her, and he's like, no, you're the real thing. And I think that ultimately, as much as they try and deny it, those two are meant to be together.
I think so, too.
Totally. They're meant to be together.
Jerry's grown on me this season.
Yeah.
I really hated him by the end of season 2, and he's kind of growing on me this season.
I know.
What bothers me most is I'm Jerry. In real life, that's true. I'm Jerry, and recently someone even called me on it, and I really couldn't even argue because it's true. I mean, if there's any character I most like, it's Jerry. I'm the most emotional. I'm the most dramatic.
There really isn't a character I hate, and you know what? If I could say that I hate a character the most, it'd probably be Rick, just because he's such a fucking dick.
I just think there's a lot more to Jerry than people give him credit for.
But that's what I mean. And I will
just like fucking Morty is a lot.
I love Morty.
Everyone thinks
Morty's
he's dumb, but fucking Morty's smarter than Rick.
Okay, like I totally identify with Morty. So
yeah, because Morty's not even fully grown yet.
and you identify with Summer.
Yeah, I love Summer. She's my favorite character. She really is my favorite character.
Summer's an awesome character.
I love her.
It's been fun. My younger brother really identifies with Morty, so we've been joking back and forth about that, because I'm like, Summer really speaks to me, and he's like, oh my God, I feel like I was Morty. I was like, yeah, you are Morty. He's like, you are a Summer, and we just kind of high-fived and had this little moment.
I feel like I am Jerry, but I want to be Summer. That's the truth.
You don't want to be a teenage girl, trust me.
Well, I want to be Summer because I think
years,
she's cooler than
she's
just
beyond
a teenage
years,
girl.
She's awesome.
I love my favorite thing is when she's like, I'm sorry that no one will take me huffing for just wanting to be a drug addict.
I just want to be high.
It has nothing to do with all this other shit. I hope that someday people can just accept that I just want to be a drug addict.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want people to think this is about me dealing with my parents' divorce. I just want people to know that I just am a person who likes to get high.
I like huffing.
I love that.
Which totally ran with one of my other favorite television characters is Charlie Kelly on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So I'm just like, yes, the huffers. I'm not advocating huffing. Don't.
No. Please do not huff.
No.
Do not huff unless you're a fictional character, and then go for it.
Unless you're huffing weed, then you can huff all you want, I guess. I don't even know if that's possible.
That will not hurt. Yeah, but I don't know why you would do it.
I guess the process of huffing could actually be the dangerous part.
You could. You're right.
It's that because it's kind of strangulation-y thingy kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think. But
what?
Here's what.
Totally
if you're putting a plastic bag over your head full of weed or full of any inhalant.
It's not a plastic bag over your head. It's more that you're holding it over your mouth and nose so that you're just breathing in the fumes or the whatever chemicals or whatever. So most people,
thank you for making sure that people out there knew how to do this dangerous thing.
Yeah, so now they know how to do it.
I'm only kidding. Yeah,
shoot, I knew how to do it by the time I was in middle school, because I had people going, dude, did you know if you put spray paint in a paper bag and then breathe in and out real hard that you get high? And I'm like, that sounds dumb.
Yeah, you can also die from lack of oxygen.
You get like a really bad headache too.
I'm like, that sounds like a bad idea.
But there's also, remember,
where you choke yourself out.
Yeah.
We used to do that in middle school.
Yeah, I remember when we first got here, that happened to a kid in the neighborhood.
He died, though.
Yeah. Yeah, and so and
but they never
at
came
first
out
they were
that
like,
that
"Is it the suicide?" But like when everybody did the math, they figured out.
Yeah, it was never officially said that was the reason.
But it was like kids experimenting with with choking themselves out, not
but
jerking off.
But he was by himself.
But he was literally choking.
He was by himself, though. You don't do shit like that by yourself.
It was back then. I remembered. I did that too.
Yeah, but you didn't do it by yourself.
You can't really do it.
He was by himself.
But it's
hard to do by yourself.
And it doesn't mean that someone who's with you doesn't know what they're doing,
and they
or
ran
knows
away.
what they're and can run away.
Yeah, I never got into the whole conversation about it because the boy went to school with my daughter, and it was kind of like, and she.
How do we get here?
Was
podcasting?
They were like 12 or 13. They were like 12. They were I think they were just going into high school.
Yeah, that's about the time that I learned about all that stuff. And started doing that dumb kind of stuff.
Public service here. This is another thing that happens. It's usually an adolescent phase. Mm-hmm. It's somewhere around. It's usually pre-sexual experimentation.
Right, 13.
Yeah, it's in that age window, and it's just for whatever reason it's thought of as a getting high thing,
right,
even though it's
dangerous.
not. What they're really doing is cutting off. You're knocking yourself out.
And the idea of it sounds. I mean, it's just not a good.
And there's
idea.
all different ways to do it. Some people do it with pressure on chest. Some people literally cut off the veins to your head, the arteries to your head. That's the way we did it too.
I was such a pussy kid.
What a
I would
fucking
never do
moron in retrospect when I thought about it.
Did you do that too?
Oh yeah.
Danielle, did you do it too?
You could.
Why
you could have
died.
died.
Did I not do that?
Because you were smarter than
us?
us?
No, I was chicken shit.
It was who you were with. It's a rite of passage, but
but I was a late bloomer too.
And I admittedly hung out with the rougher crowd, even as
and
I was
crazier
a late bloomer.
crowd.
I didn't hang out with anybody really.
Oh, and I was the kind of girl that hung out with all the guys and had to prove that she was just as tough as the guys.
Yeah. I was just drinking like jungle juice and acting stupid. That was what I was doing.
I just remember having a 3-way later that night, so I can't really complain.
Yeah. So I got the night turned out good for you.
Yeah. It's all in that same sort of window of experimentation and weirdness that you go through at that
I don't know
age.
why I never tried that. Now I'm like, damn.
Well.
I don't want to do it now.
I wasn't the one who came up with it. The guy I was with was talking about it. And so
see, that's why, because I didn't hang out with enough guys.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I do think it is a pretty male thing. Most of the people.
So if I were hanging out with guys,
stuff was guys.
like
but
Danielle
is this a
was
gateway
saying,
drug? Should we ban this as a gateway drug for whatever's next? This is the true gateway.
Then you need to ban swivel chairs because every kid on the planet's first high is spinning in a chair over and over again.
Yeah, and then standing up.
Or spanking. Ban spanking because that becomes the first perv.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know where you get that from, but.
What do you mean?
I don't know, but where did you get that from? The chair.
Well, spinning in the chair is the first high, and I remember spinning in a chair, and then I remember spanking with another person not too long after spinning in the chair with them.
Really?
Well, there you go.
And it was a boy.
Wow.
Ooh.
I really wasn't doing fun stuff.
Yeah, no, see, my memories of that time in my life was more like my friend and I tried to start a fight club, and it was just two of us, which
and
is
of course,
really sad.
Here's another thing I could say. What I just told you about is actually very normal even for hetero males, they say.
Yeah. So. I would say. Well, look at football players. They're always smacking each other on the butt. Always.
That's true.
Yes. Oh, and kneeling. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, more of that, but and less of everything else.
That is true. All right, maybe we should let this poor lady go because she has another show she's got to do now.
Why is she poor? She's enjoying it.
Well,
I'm having fun.
Good.
See?
Yeah, been good.
It's called self-abasing humor. I love self-abasing humor. It's like a spanking. Bend me over and spank me. Ah!
As long as it's not self-flagellation, we're good.
There you
go. I agree.
There you go.
There'll be none of that on this show.
Hang on.
No.
We could be infested with these things, so we gotta keep an eye out for any zany, wacky characters that pop up.
Ooh, whatever you want, Rick. We're here to help.
Thanks, Mr. Poopy Butthole. I always could count on you.
That's full. The full cut.
You can always count on Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Yes, you can.
You can, and until he dies.
I know.
Yes.
And that's so sad. Don't.
And then I cry.
I know. Me too. This show is so fucked up.
It is. I mean, the episode that got me was when they went on Morty's adventure and the mayor tried to rape him in the bathroom.
Oh my god!
Actually, the episode that got me was Unity.
Unity
at the end, where he fucking he creates a fucking life form and then kills it just to feel something, and then debauch it. Just fucks up his own suicide.
The whole
that will roll. I will roll tears on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that show is dark for a show that has a character named Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Yeah, it can go crazy places. The last episode was a letdown for a lot of people, but I kind of liked it.
I liked it.
I liked it too.
That we did kind of a reset.
Yeah, definitely, because you knew it sort of had to happen that way. What is funny to me is there's a guy who I really like his insights on, and I can't remember the name of his YouTube channel, but he does a lot of videos about the episodes and does Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's the Emergency Awesome guy.
Yeah, the Emergency Awesome guy. You could tell he doesn't.
Sorry, dude, I don't know your
doesn't
name.
have kids because he takes shit way too seriously. He's convinced that Beth is a clone, which totally goes to show. I don't know that he's had a serious relationship and had kids, because you couldn't have seen that scene and
the
not
ending.
known that she was not a clone.
No, she's not.
Yeah.
I'm convinced she's not. I don't
me too.
know what other people think, but she cannot be.
And he goes way out, to explain a lot of things that I just see as, dude, that's just a joke, dude. You're taking it way too seriously.
But that's the thing, that the fans get in crazy intense.
Yeah.
Well, and they do that for everything. Look at Game of Thrones.
Oh my God, I love Game of Thrones.
I love Game of Thrones too, and I've read all the books. And I'm one of those people that I'm
Game
obsessed,
of Thrones,
but
but Game of Thrones isn't supposed to be funny. You know what I mean?
No.
Rick and Morty's a comedy show.
Yeah.
So at some point, there's got to be some jokes in there, dude. You don't have to worry so much
But
about
people
the
relate.
continuity.
People relate to the characters. That's what's happening.
Yes.
And they get all consumed.
Yes. Well, maybe the Boomy Boom blew up all his wordy words books.
Oh my God.
Oh, you mean dictionaries?
I thought we were going to let her go, and now we're talking about Rick and Morty.
I know.
But
That's
talking about Rick and
podcasting.
Morty. Now, when you bring up Rick and Morty, maybe just because you're maybe in a different crowd during the week than I am, but a lot of people don't watch Rick and Morty.
No, a lot of people don't even know who it is.
I'm like, what?
yeah, it's a lot of people don't, and it's kind of weird. No, in my circles, everybody knows.
Right, that's what I mean.
It's weird.
But then in my day job, day job, nobody has any clue what Rick and Morty is, and I that's one of the things I'm I go to some of my, especially I work with a lot of scientists.
Right.
And I'll go to the scientists and be like, hey, there's this show you need to watch.
I actually made a scientific observation while I was in New York City dressed as Rick and Morty. More minorities know Rick and Morty than white people, without a doubt.
I don't get it.
Or they're certainly more vocal about it.
I think part of that is Adult Swim.
Yeah.
It has to be Adult Swim.
Because Adult Swim has always kind of spoken to the outsider.
Yeah.
You're right, the underdog.
Yes.
The underdog.
Yes.
Well, if you look at stuff like Loiter Squad, which they themselves call Black Ass.
Yeah.
What the fuck was Samuel Jackson's samurai show?
Oh,
I can't remember
Afro
the name of it.
Samurai.
But I was a kick. I love Samurai Jack. I got all the.
And Samurai Jack's great. Yes. Afro Samurai is great. The Boondocks was on Adult Swim.
And most people don't know Samurai Jack voice work. A black man.
Yeah.
That's right.
That is a great show.
He's the guy who got killed in fucking.
Didn't that come back
in Pulp Fiction? Yes.
Yeah. They have the adult one that came back.
Yeah, but is it a movie or is it a season?
I think it's a season.
Oh, cool.
I have not purchased it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I do not know either. I think it's a season, and the other thing that's on Adult Swim that I'm just in love with, and it's so gonzo and weird and out there, and then with regards to minorities having a voice, is I love the Eric Andre show.
Oh, Eric Andre, I haven't seen it. I have to watch it.
No,
it's different.
Okay,
everybody keeps
cool.
recommending all kinds of stuff. Like someone recommended Big Mouth to us. And I kind of looked at it. I'm like, ooh, I don't like that look.
Yeah, so you have to be able to watch that the whole time.
Yeah, and that creeps me out. I'm already it's like it plays in my uncanny valley.
I don't like that look either. The Eric Andre show. The only thing with it is there is some of the discomfort comedy, the Tim and Eric sort of discomfort comedy there. That's not real fun.
Yeah,
but if you go into it knowing that what the concept is, it's so much better. And they never directly say the concept, but the concept is that Eric Andre is hosting a late night talk show in hell. And that Hannibal Buress, as his co-host, is the demon that's trying to make sure he stays on track.
I guess now that we know the secret, it'll become more bearable. That's like if you watch...
I like that.
If you watch Batman 66 and know that the secret is actually that they're gay, turns the whole show into a whole new experience.
It's so much better, isn't it?
All the innuendo goes fucking crazy.
Yeah, it
I
really
thought
does.
everybody knew that.
Yes, it's so true. Well, you didn't when you were a kid. When we were a kid, we didn't understand camp. And we certainly wouldn't understand gay camp.
No, the kids know gay camp. Now, never go there, boys and girls.
Oh, it's become so funny when...
Never go to day camp.
When the secret
or gay camp,
that Aunt Harriet is trying to catch them in is buggering each other. It just becomes a whole other level of comedy.
Buggering each other.
Yes. Ooh, did I catch the boys doing something? They're changing in the other room. Why does he have his mouth on his cock? Sorry. My fantasies got in the way there. Sorry.
Womp womp.
How should we end this, God? All right, give us your website again and where we can find you online, particularly your podcast, because we're big podcast
Okay, say your name now, Danielle.
Absolutely.
What's your last
Danny.
name?
I am Danielle or Danny Ryan.
She's Danny Rand.
Danny Ryan.
Danny Rand.
You can find
You know who
me.
Danny Rand is,
I am
right?
not Danny Rand.
That's Iron Fist.
Thank you. I know.
My God, I love him. Yes,
Me
you
too.
want to be him. But not really.
I
Not
know
really.
people had problems with Iron Fist, but our
I
friend
don't have-
worked on it. We know all the
I don't have any
secrets to
problems
why.
Oh
with
no,
Iron
my,
Fist.
my problem's more just I've met the actor and he was still drunk from the night before and it was
No.
hilarious.
Was he a jerk to you?
No, he was nice, but
Oh, okay.
he had like the biggest Starbucks thing that you could possibly have with just black coffee, and he had drank all of it, so he was hyper and hungover and still a little drunk.
Damn, sounds perfect to me.
Yeah.
It was entertaining.
Did you have to interview him?
No, I met him at a fan thing.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's really good looking in person.
Oh, that-
so.
God,
yeah.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Even not in
10 out of
person, he's good.
10. Wow. Okay,
But,
enough about that Danny Rand.
Enough about that guy. No, I am Danny Ryan.
Again,
and-
that's another guy we
Danny
worked with.
Ryan.
Our friend worked with him because he was on Defenders. He was
yeah.
on Iron Fist. He was so.
Yeah, he's a beauty.
Why we can't get this guy on our show? I don't know.
So,
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at DannyRat, DaniRat, and you can find my podcast
now why the rat?
on SoundCloud.
Why the rat part?
I have pet rats.
Okay, it's a Danny Rat.
Oh, you're one of those.
I'm
Wait,
one
can
of
you-
those.
Can you say it again?
At least
Danny
rats are
Rat.
smart.
At
Right.
Danny Rat, yep.
Okay.
And I have pet rats. They're like little dogs. believe
Yeah,
it or
rats
not.
I get. Rats. It's the
But
people
rats are
with,
really smart, too.
It's the people with like tarantulas and cold-blooded
No,
creatures
I
that
don't-
really will never
I-
love you.
No, will never love you back. Like
You're-
I don't get it.
No,
I've
I'll
had
never
lizards,
love a tarantula.
Yeah,
I've
no,
had
because they'll never love you
lizards
back.
I had lizards as a kid because it was like cool. It was just kind of like having a mini zoo in my room.
Or the snake.
Yeah. For the shock value type of thing.
But after
rats I
having the
get.
lizards, I was like, they don't have any affection, they don't care about me, and there's so much money and time going into that. I was like, I'm only ever having pets if they actually give a crap about my existence.
So
from
do
here on
rats-
out.
I am very happy I read Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim as a kid. 'Cause that really educated me towards, the smarts of rats.
Oh, they're so smart.
They really
they're
are.
so smart. I've had lots and lots of them over the years, and I've had some that were smart enough that I trained them to come when called. They knew their name. You can litter box train them. You can train them to do tricks. You can train them to do all kinds of fun stuff. So I've had some cool ones.
And if you're looking for a great book, go out there and get that. That is
Oh,
good.
I love that, but I love the movie too, the Don Bluth. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
but it was it was hard to pull off the same way. The book is definitely better.
Oh, the book is definitely better,
Yeah.
but I still love that old
Especially the
cartoon.
politics. You couldn't have Mrs. Frisbee,
That's
oh,
true.
no little boys will want to see that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the book was awesome, but
Yeah, the book is awesome, and the sequel's actually really good too.
I never saw the sequel or I never read the
Well,
sequel.
I mean, read the sequel. Yeah. What is it? Rasco and the Rats and him.
Yeah, I never did. I would love to. I hope it is good. But
It's very good. It's very, very good.
I always kind of like the ending is like you don't sort of really know what happens. So, but serves me right for not knowing the end.
There you go.
I'm sorry, I'm getting tired and loopy here.
So, at Danny Rat.
At
then,
Dani Rat. And from there, you can find pretty much everything I do because I'm one of those people that just shares everything on Twitter. But you can also find me on SoundCloud. That's the easiest way to find our podcast. But we're also on iTunes, Stitcher, pretty much anywhere you can listen to podcasts. And we're just freaky fandoms. So just check us out. We're doing another episode this week. We're doing Friday the 13th, or not Friday the 13th. We're doing Nightmare on Elm Street this week.
Oh, cool.
So, because I just saw it for the first time last week.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
I don't like slashers. I love horror, but I've never liked slashers, and I've never had any interest in checking out Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. And I finally got talked into watching them, and I loved Nightmare on Elm Street. So I'm super excited to talk about it.
I loved it too, but here's what I will say. I saw that on a first date with the first girl that I had a real relationship with, and that scared the fucking shit out of both of us in the theater.
Oh, good.
So it was awesome.
Yeah.
I love being scared on a date. Like, that's so much fun when you get to share that with somebody.
Yeah. The thing I'll never forget as long as I live that scared the shit out of both of us was, I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
Oh.
The tongue comes out of the phone.
Nope.
That was a great gag.
Oh,
that made us both jump.
I'm sure.
So, there you go. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. I'm so glad. And please don't be a stranger. We'd love to have you back on.
You've this was a blast. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
And we'll follow
no
you.
problem.
Yeah, we'll follow you and
check out your show
check out your stuff.
See what's going on, and we'll
I'll
look to
let
have
you
you
know,
back on again.
And I'll let you know when the show drops. So
especially if you ever make your way back up here again, keep in touch, and maybe
definitely
we can have you in that cave, as we say.
Ooh, sounds good to me.
Well, yeah, it's a lot less Skype.
Yeah. Yay, Dani Rat. That was an awesome interview.
These applause will keep going as long as
I know it keeps going.
They're not on a loop or anything, but they're the long applause, long form applause.
Well, thanks for opening up.
And there they go.
Thanks for opening up, and I'm so glad that we got to know you a little more.
Yeah, and we look forward to having you on the show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I pay attention to her tweets. She's a lot of fun.
She is. And she likes a lot of our stuff and retweets, and we appreciate it, and we do the same.
Yes.
And we wish you all the best. And I know that you were.
We told you like months ago or weeks ago that this was going to come out.
Well, and I know she was interviewing for another position, so I hope that worked out too. We'd like to hear about that. Well, let's we have a little bit more to go, and then we'll be done with the show.
Sound like it's, God, if you could just hang in there, folks. No,
that's not what I meant.
Just if you could just tolerate us for a few more moments.
CNET had an article about like the clumsy side of sex and making it more like kind of like getting into more of what women like, and how there's certain sites that are actually showing and
especially with all this harassment stuff going on.
Well, what
do women really like?
So what they're talking about is
they don't like when you pull your cock out and chase them down the hallway and then jerk off into a bush.
So this is omgyes.com, and basically OMGYes is a hands-on way to explore women's pleasure, and it's basically
OMGYes.
Yeah,
oh my
and
God,
it's basically like interviews with women talking about things that really aren't taboo, but maybe
essentially it's like what they would say to it's their confessions, if you will.
Right. It's
you can read about what they really like.
Right. So go to OMGYes and you can explore and and it's like the latest science really about what feels good.
Be sure to bring your feels.
Right. Bring all your feeling stuff. So and you can it's not a subscription site.
Perhaps a journal.
Right. So check it out. I liked that.
Being silly.
Because I think there might even be like tutorials about like how to do certain things to please your girl.
I mean, you can always go over to Susie Q's site over
or
the
Susie
Horcast,
because
she has all kinds
of that.
Oh God!
And Susie's probably amazing.
She's a doll baby.
Yeah.
We gotta get her on
not
the show.
Probably, I know she is. Well, not by I don't know for
We gotta get her on the show.
I've never ever been with Susie, but I'm sure she's very, Very.
Not for lack of trying. No, I'm kidding.
I'm sure she's very.
Last time we saw her, I mean, I wasn't like, I don't jump across the table or anything, but I'm sure I was putting my feels on.
Yeah, I know.
Sending out the vibes as much as I could. Please.
You sound so desperate when you say it like that.
No, it's like, well, she's quite the minx.
She is. We like Susie.
I'd beg.
You would beg?
I'd beg Susie. Because she's all into, she could do that whole, like, I'm in charge thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get kinky.
All right, Susie.
Jean's like, shut up. Don't say anything. Talking too much.
Who, me?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I'm riffing over here. I'm excited. From tonight, we're going to see a big show.
Tonight, we're going to see Babylon. Yeah,
yes,
with
Babylon in New York City, Carolina.
With Kevin and Ralph.
The 300th
episode. Yes. Yeah. So,
yes, I sound like CBS.
We'll be there early to eat, and then we'll get there.
So we're eating out?
We're eating out. Not eating each other out. We're eating our food.
Well, I don't have a pussy, so that would be kind of nice. Hey!
Oh, wait a minute.
Bum. Where's my thing? That's true.
Wait a minute. That's not right. Yeah. That's better.
Yeah.
I think that was on the Ralph show.
Wow.
I love him.
Speaking of.
Oh, Ralph, we missed your interview today.
Yeah,
we miss you. We're going to see you tonight. I can't wait.
But hey, in fairness, he's like, hey, I owe you guys.
I know.
He's all cool,
I'm not mad. I just was disappointed, but I totally get it. Yeah. We've had to do it.
The person I feel worst about is Michael, because he took the day off.
He did. Well, I think I don't know, maybe there's a chance he went into work and then left early or something. But you know what? Maybe his family will just be happy he's home because it's just more time spent with Daddy. Yeah. He's got little ones.
He can go edit. You can go edit. You can go edit. Go edit. What's a podcast?
Oh, yeah, maybe he likes to hang out with the fam first.
Got time to edit, Betty. I gotta shoot that as soon as we get off the air.
That's so funny. Guys, have a great rest of the week.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy this installment. Look forward to 2 shows this month, because we shorted you on October, and we're trying to at least make it monthly. So
right,
that's our promise to you. But this month you'll get 2 for.
Right, and maybe try something and explore something different this week.
Yeah,
I have like 6 more days.
If you have a guilty pleasure, maybe make it a little less guilty.
Yeah, try it out. Yeah. And just do something like out of the box.
Or if you think you want to become polyamorous, open up to that person next to you and say, you ever thought about polyamory? Have you ever thought about this? Bisexuality? Trisexuality? Pansexuality, as they say.
What's trisexuality?
I just pulled that out.
Oh, that was made up.
Yeah, I just made it up. But pansexuality is a thing, apparently. So,
it is.
As we've discussed already.
We have talked about that with Dani.
So, yeah, come out of the closet, too, if you need to.
Yeah.
About something.
Maybe
you're a Scorpio and you like anal.
That is a possibility, because apparently they like it a lot.
Yes,
apparently they like giving it and receiving it.
As Stacey Pressman,
no, she
was talking
there
about.
Was
on
a
Facebook.
quiz. Well, there was a quiz on Facebook, and they said that I could probably pull it up, and we could probably
are into anal.
Scorpios
I don't know how it said
anal.
That. That's like so ridiculous. It's
yeah.
so like
that
is so random.
Well, I mean.
And Tauruses are into nothing. Like, we're boring.
Yeah, you're very boring
yes.
in bed.
Yeah. As I'm cross-dressing and fucking showing up at bars and whatnot.
You're so boring.
I'm so boring.
Do something fun for once. But yeah, so it definitely said that Scorpios were into anal.
There you go.
Yeah.
I just feel like it was very much like my Howard Stern, what was it? What was the second book that he had?
Private Parts?
Was it Private Parts where he came out and drag and all that stuff? That's what it was. It was like the Private Parts moment. No, the first one, no. It was the second one. God, what was the second book?
The Private Parts, and then there's...
All I remember, I think it was OJ was on the back. I was probably thinking of Private Parts, too.
Yeah, I think he only had one book.
No, he had 2. It was the second one. And he came out, I remember he came out all in drag back then.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, we hope you guys have enjoyed the show, and we will see you real soon. Next guest will be Midnight Smoke. Woo! Also known as Steve. Steve the Night. He's also on a podcast called The Mr. BS Show quite a bit. So check him out there. But until then, we'll see you
At
next
Midnight Smoke 1.
Have some good sex for yourselves.
Have fun.
In bed.
Just have fun.
In bed.
Or wherever.
Yes. Virtual bed. In virtual bed.
Virtual bed?
Yes, have fun in virtual bed.
Bye.
In your ear hole.